candidate.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes.
Hello, Effie.
Hi.
Did you bring sign-in sheets?
I have no idea.
I mean, I can
Nope,
use
nope,
my,
not there.
I can use my, notebook.
All right, unless they were given to me and I don't think so. All right.
Hmm.
Hello. Hi. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Yes, okay, I'm here now, so yeah. I don't know. I haven't looked myself. Mhm.
Rosanna, can you hear me?
Mhm.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good. So who's the host now?
No, I don't know. I haven't looked.
And,
Yeah.
did you get the 2 budget documents they sent?
Yes, I did.
Did you Joey's, slide
Let me see.
presentation?
Yes.
Very good. Might be, okay.
She's working
Oh,
on,
so
signing in.
Uh-huh.
I don't see Edgar, in the waiting room.
I'm gonna come down.
Okay, good.
You guys-
All right.
you guys-
That was Edgar. He said he's gonna sign in right now.
Okay, got the link.
I guess so. Yeah, I'm sure he'll say something if he didn't.
I think we just got the agenda and then there's trouble.
Oh, this is just for back.
the
Cause I'm not sure I have anything.
more to add.
Okay.
Okay, so I have no sign-in sheets and no agenda. I have no sign-in sheets and no agendas.
I have created a sign-in sheet.
All right, good, because I don't have anything else. I don't have any extra agendas. I don't know. Wait. You want? Okay, that's fine. Oops. Edgar's gonna be on the. Still not there. If he's having trouble, then
haven't said anything.
What is she having trouble with?
I don't know if Edgar's having trouble. He has the link. But we haven't seen him show up in the room.
Are we sure we're plugged into the owl, not HDMI?
Kitty, you do
Yes.
both. You do
Hmm?
both.
But yes, because we can see us.
And you do both.
Okay.
That's how it works. The album
Okay, well-
and HDMI.
There was one night when the little video thing was not plugged in, but apparently it is,
No,
'cause
that
there we
little
are.
thing that means.
There we
nothing
are,
to
yeah.
nothing. People are just thinking it was.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening.
Hello.
Good evening. Hey, Tom, how are you? They're nothing but me this morning.
Well, we had to have a special reason, that's why.
Hello? 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 Edgar, are you having trouble with the link? Okay. Yeah. Uh-huh. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Okay, thank you.
I'm
He's
assuming
having trouble
something
with
is
the
Irish,
link or something.
A little bit of everything.
Scottish.
Oh, you're a rescue?
Yeah, yeah.
That's a
A little bit of Irish.
My dog
a little
is
bit of Dutch.
little bit of
German.
everything.
That's where I was. Let me tell you, I was surprised. I didn't see a lot of red hair. I saw a lot of pasty people.
You did
There you
not
go.
see a lot of red
I
hair?
did not see.
Apparently redheads are becoming rare.
Well, I didn't see one.
Not one
Hey, Diana.
Good evening.
there.
Yeah. And maybe one.
That's kind of sad.
Was dreary.
Was it good weather? At least it was all rainy
It
and.
was dreary.
Yeah.
Really? How long were you there?
6 through the 12th.
Did you get some draft Guinness?
Ones
That's worth the trip, especially if it's raining.
you can't stumble over a bar without.
Did he have like a link and you
Get
had
it,
a phone
yes.
number and code? I don't know what's. Why it's not working. Why is that visible?
Chilling in here.
Hmm?
Is it just me? Is it chilling in here?
It's probably just you because
I
you're
got
in
short
short
sleeves,
sleeves,
yeah.
not summer uniform.
I didn't get that.
Yeah.
Never can send it to them.
Down a little. bit.
Oh, there he is.
Richard, and-
This way?
Yeah.
Okay, I see your name. All right.
Give the chief.
Or I can straddle the
Okey dokey.
thing
Oh,
here.
okay.
There we go.
We can all right, so let's get started then. Small turnout. So, calling to order the meeting of the police commission for October 23rd. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, Edgar, I guess you have to unmute yourself to be able to vote.
I don't know. Do we have an agenda? I just need,
I have your report.
You have a
I
bunch?
have the report, but
Okay, Edgar, if you
No, I've
can
got
hear
the
us and you want to vote, you'll have to
That's- you're
unmute
done.
yourself.
Okay.
All right, do you have approval of the agenda? I need a vote, a second.
I just need to find it. Apparently it's in there.
This is the agenda for the police commission.
It's just the regular agenda, but the
Yep.
beginning of it?
Yeah,
Okay,
Yep.
so moved.
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Aye.
great.
I hope you heard me.
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Okay,
Yes.
thank you.
Okay. All right, is there anything here for public input to the police meeting? No, okay, all right, then we will move ahead with the chief's report.
Okay, good evening, everyone.
Aye.
Public input?
I think,
Was everybody got my information,
Yeah.
decided not to react?
Well-
No, that,
that's not true yet.
Well, it is. Your agenda is
Well,
what it
we don't
is.
react on email, so, but
Your
we're here.
agenda is what it is.
for some reason it's not.
I'm
It doesn't
I'm
mean
sorry,
we won't take your input, Tom, it just means that we will discuss, your public comments, that we appreciate that. We take it as public comments, but comments from the public for our meeting. Just a
okay,
little-
but this is Edgar. I had indicated in the mail that I was hoping that we can put on the agenda for the police commission for tonight, the various items that Tom Jeff recommended that we discuss. It's not, much of it is not new. We're all familiar with it.
Right,
There are things there that we need to discuss and put closure on. So do I need to make a motion to put that into the agenda?
so I think what we need to do is just take it as public input, and then we can discuss what we will address as soon as we can, now or at a later time.
Well, I'm hoping that it's done tonight. I mean, we have time. So I like to make a motion that we adopt the items on the email from Tom Jeff with its agenda. And a second for that.
Okay, Matt is on this email. Yeah, I'd like to go through his report and then I think we can look at Tom's ideas.
Yeah, but usually the agenda is adopted at the beginning of the meeting, and that's the stage that I thought we were at.
So we were thinking we were getting public input at the meeting so that everyone can hear and understand what the public input is.
Okay, so then let Tom do that, then I'll make my motion then.
You criticized for saying in public what I've previously sent you as an email.
Okay, let's have the chief's report and then one of the board members can read your suggestions and then we will proceed. Okay, so let's start with the chief's report.
Okay.
And then we'll look at Tom's suggestions and read them out loud.
Okay. So for the month of September, we received 2 commendations. The first one was a written thank you for Officer George Garone. We received it from a teacher from Duzine School, thanking Officer Garone for going above and beyond when helping a struggling student and for translating into Spanish for that student. The second one was received via telephone. It was thanking all of NPPD just for helping the local residents on several occasions. Those are the 2 commendations for the month of September. We had 1 incident involving a defensive action report. There was 1 report filed. The incident occurred on September 29th, 2025 at about 1:30 a.m. It involved a juvenile, small, race is white, approximately 5'9", 135 pounds. The juvenile was sitting on their bed, holding a large kitchen knife when the officers encountered the subject. One of the officers unholstered their taser and held it in a low ready position briefly, while a second officer spoke with the juvenile. Once the knife was secured, the secondary officer holstered their taser, and at no point was it pointed or discharged. Anybody have any questions on?
The all due care was provided when dealing with the kid, right?
Yeah,
Juvenile. Is the juvenile in their home?
correct.
Okay, so the parents were there and,
Yep.
okay,
And everything was to department policy and training. There was no deviations from training.
I asked that question because I was at a situation where a young girl ran away from home to the library and basically barricaded herself in the library, and she was scared by the officers.
In this situation, it was at a private residence that we were called to by the guardians, and they were present during the encounter. Unless there's any questions regarding the training report, that's all I have for the monthly report.
About how many people are you getting at your conversations with police?
This month, I believe we had a total of 6.
Okay.
We held it at Starbucks, and it was on National Coffee with a Cop Day. So, we got a little bit more of a showing. On a more monthly basis, we've had quite a few months where there was no one that came. A couple months, we had 1 or 2 people, but depends on the month, depends on the weather, depends on the location. We try to move it around and make it different times, different days of the week, different locations to try and accommodate. So,
Okay.
Does it need some different kind of publicity about it, that people are not aware of?
yeah, we posted on our social media platforms, and, we're trying to get back in the habit of getting it on our website as soon as possible too. So we can look to potentially announce it at the meetings, more regularly.
When is the next one?
We don't have one scheduled yet for November.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking you might want to join the senior lunch at the community center. They're a pretty lively crowd.
That's great. Yeah,
I think they'd enjoy meeting you
absolutely.
Every Thursday, 12 noon.
every Thursday at noon. Okay.
I know it was discussed when things were going on when I was doing this. What do you all talk about these days there with your coffee with cops?
Anything that anyone wants to talk about, we're there. If they want to talk about their favorite sports team, we can talk about that. If they want to talk about something police related, we can talk about that. We're there to meet the community members and answer any questions that they have. And if they just want to have a cup of coffee and have a casual conversation about the weather, we can do that too.
Any other questions for the chief?
Edgar here. One question that I indicated in an email that I would ask. It's regarding a resident that was taken in by the ICE. And I'm wondering if the police chief or the police department have any public information that they can share about that. There is a related resolution that was approved by the village that I'm recommending that it be also adopted by us. But the question for the chief is if he has any information about that situation.
No, I do not.
This didn't occur in New Paltz, or did it?
No, if it's the same incident that, I'm familiar with, just from what I read in the paper, I believe it happened in Long Island.
Yeah.
Is where he was taken
But
into custody.
He's a local.
Yeah, I'm familiar with that, yeah.
All right, so this is something we can talk about at the board meeting for sure.
Right, so I think the resolution is appropriate for the board meeting. We've also.
I agree with that. That's what I suggested.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, if we're done with the chief's report, then can we talk about some of the suggestions we received from the public by an email? It would just be nice if we had a meeting so everybody could, Tom, would you please just read us one or two of them?
Please. The first one was really taking up an item that had been brought up by, is it Miriam? Probably. Or, Miriam, right? Probably. She was asking originally about, training, that had, the officers have received, to deal with, cases that may come up about federal agents engaged in immigration enforcement. You know, we talked briefly about the fact that the policy exists on the website, but to the extent that those situations may put officers in novel situations vis-a-vis federal agents, vis-a-vis people in distress. I guess the question is, what was the up-to-date training that they've received? And then part B was, I think during the course of that discussion, various members of the board acting as commission had talked about ideas about making sure that the immigration information, the policy, gets as widely distributed within the town as possible. There was nothing at the meeting resolving a particular pathway for that. But I'm asking whether there was ever any follow-up to what seemed like your lively interest in that in principle.
Okay,
Okay, so let's break it into one. Training, can you please answer that question?
So we do reality-based training. We have multiple reality-based training instructors in New Paltz PD. We haven't done anything specific to our local immigration law. We've reviewed the law and policy with all of our employees. All of our employees have had the opportunity to ask questions from a supervisor, and everyone has signed off on a sheet acknowledging the fact that they understand the policy and they understand their role and responsibility if encountering a situation like that.
Can you just give us a little more description about reality training?
So reality-based training, years ago, it was referred to as active shooter training. It started just in kind of the silo of what you would do in response to an active shooter situation. Within the past 5 or so years, it's kind of expanded to what we refer to as reality-based training. So we practice trainings that are realistic things that officers will encounter on a more regular basis than just doing strictly active shooter training. So our instructors will set up, you know, whether it's a traffic stop that, you know, turns into some type of event, or, you know, going to a call for service for someone in need of mental health assistance, or different things of those, you know, all
So,
different
Matt,
types of
if-
calls that we would.
if somebody calls you and says, there are a bunch of guys with masks pulling my neighbor into a van, what can you do? What are you able to do?
Well, first things first, if we receive a call, we're gonna send a car. We're gonna send officers to that location, especially in that situation. We have no idea whether it's
Right,
a federal agent, whether it's someone just straight up kidnapping someone. Obviously, officers are gonna go and they're gonna assess the situation. They're gonna try and ID everyone involved. Ultimately, if they get there and they identify and find out that it is immigration officers doing some type of federal enforcement, New Paltz police officers can't do anything to interfere with that, but they understand that they also are not gonna do anything to assist.
Would they ask for a judicial warrant?
what can I?
Would they ask for a judicial warrant?
No, not necessarily, because they're not asking, if we're not being asked for assistance, we can't stop federal immigration officers from coming and taking action on warrants that are not
Issued by,
correct,
No.
judicial warrants. We would not assist unless we have,
Well, how do you
From-
know they're not somebody kidnapping somebody?
well, that's why they would identify them.
So you can say, please identify yourself
Oh, absolutely,
to a person in a mask.
With no,
absolutely.
nothing.
Oh,
else
good,
that
Yes,
identifies.
and if we get a call of that nature, we're gonna send, more likely than not, there's gonna be multiple officers going to it. If we get a phone call that there's a group of people, you know, in masks kidnapping someone, that's not a one officer take his or her time to get there type of call.
Okay,
You know, multiple officers are gonna get there and assess the situation. Like I said, if it turns out that it is a legitimate federal law enforcement function, there's nothing we can do to stop them, but my members know that they can't do anything to
Well,
assist.
Would
it's
your body
news-
cams be on?
Absolutely.
it's news to me that you can ask to see their ID. And that's actually good news.
Ultimately, just to clarify, we can ask to see anyone's ID. We can ask. We
Okay.
can't demand them to give it. Just, unless there's a specific reason, we can't demand a civilian to provide identification unless we have a specific reason to. So they would ask them to identify themselves. I would assume and like to think that federal officers would also assist in our officers and say, yes, I'm agent so-and-so from this,
And produce. that.
agency, and produce some type of identification.
So one of the things we have, just to kind of gets to your second part, there are groups of volunteers in the community. They work with the rapid response team out of Ulster, but some of the information they provide to people, and it's not only people who might be, but it's business owners who might have their employees, is you do not have to give them, you don't have to answer their questions. You don't have to give them your ID. You don't have to give them your name.
And ultimately, if you own a private establishment, you can tell anyone that they're not welcome to be in your private establishment.
Unless it's a common, it's like a business.
You can still ask them to leave.
Yeah,
Yeah.
even if they're in your restaurant?
Absolutely.
Okay. So that's some of what's been going on here. I don't know if that answers all of your questions.
It answers that part of your question.
May I ask
Sure.
a follow-up question? Would that event be communicated more widely than within your department?
Depends on the circumstances. Ultimately, we can't do anything to impede a federal investigation or a federal law enforcement action. If immigration enforcement came into New Paltz and conducted and then left, and we were able to notify the community to prevent, any type of false rumors or things like that, we would potentially look to do so. But it's not, we couldn't put something out to notify the community ahead of time or do anything to impede their investigation, because then we would be committing a crime ourselves.
That would be considered impeded.
Oh, absolutely. If we did anything, we can't do anything to impede another agency's investigation.
So only about, it was maybe 2 weeks ago or so, I was at an event in Gardner where the sheriff was there, and he was asked about what's going on in Ulster County. Are we having, and at that point, he said there had only been 2 incidences of ICE, and they had federal warrants both times, criminal warrants both times. So they were acting within their, boundaries. But what we've heard is that they will sometimes go with a criminal warrant for one person. And if that person is in a family situation, whatever, they take everybody. And so I think it would be clear if they're taking a grandmother or children, that maybe that's not what the criminal warrant's about, and so I don't know how you guys would react at that point. All we've been told is video it.
And ultimately, as far as video goes, our officers know our body camera policy is if we're responding to a call for service, number one, our cars are set up. So as soon as an officer activates the lights, the emergency lights in their patrol car, it automatically activates their dash camera. When their dash camera activates, it automatically activates their body camera until it's manually turned off. So, and our officers know that anytime we go to a call for service, there is some discretion for if you're dealing with victims of crimes or juveniles or things of that nature, but for the most calls, their body cameras are running.
And is it with audio as well?
Audio and video recorder, both the dash camera and the body camera.
I mean, it's getting, it's in New York City. It happens in Chicago, but now it's in, really horrendous stuff, so.
I guess the last item is if I could ask that, that's the kind of thing that could potentially be in your monthly report. Hopefully we don't have it, but at all, and the press will cover it and so on and so forth.
Right.
Just to clarify, you mean if there is an enforcement action in New Paltz?
And then that you become a witness to, and I'm not, it's up to you how best to structure it.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify which part of that you were referring to.
And I guess as part of that, just to follow up to your original discussion, to make sure that the information is widely available within New Paltz as to the policy and the guidance to immigrant individuals. I don't know what further ideas. I'm not proposing them. I'm just asking.
Well, I think at last week's meeting, Edgar volunteered that he has been working with UIDN, the
A lot of
Ulster
people in
Immigration
Utah.
Defense Network, I think they probably do more outreach than the town. And, I mean, I know that there are volunteers from UIDN who have literally gone into every business in the village and handed out what to do if.
In the town as well.
Cards.
I've been with them
In the town as well,
Every
okay.
business has been handed a packet of information, stickers to put up, private area, because they're not allowed to go in an area that's designated as private. And that's a place then employees or customers can go if they need to.
I think the other thing too is that a lot of individuals are afraid to even go toward a government building because they don't know, I mean, as far as they're concerned, we're all bad and we're all out to,
Or this is where ICE is waiting for you.
right. So
Right.
it's, I mean, I have my spouse in the city is working been volunteering at a couple of the food banks. And one that they've done, they do for the homeless. They basically can't give the food away because the people are afraid to show up at that location. And so what they've tried to do is move about so that it's not all in the same place every single time. So, I mean, it's, all of this food is being prepared and
Oh,
it's
shame.
going to waste because people are afraid to come and get help.
Right.
So, I mean, as far as they're concerned, I think everything and everybody is a threat. Even when you're trying to help and.
Well, as we've heard, they can be going in for a hearing and at immigration department for a hearing and get, well, so. Yeah, there's bad stuff out there right now, not so much in Ulster. There's stuff closer to the border up north. There's more things going on there. So, I mean, yeah, and that's the thing. I think that's part of the pattern is to not make it consistent, so there's not a pattern.
Just chime in, just from the police department standpoint, we've added, and this was months ago, but we added a tab on our website that has different information, has Miranda rights and different, things to know, both in English and in Spanish. It has the town municipal law, that all that information has been posted on our social media accounts. And also I personally I was invited, to the high school and spoke to students at an assembly regarding what New Paltz Police Department will and won't do. Mr. Castro, from the high school had reached out to me
Good.
and we did that. So there's been outreach. It was, again, this was months ago, but the information is out there and we can look to continue doing it.
If you could, just send a little information about that with a link to Karen, and she can send out one of her e-alerts and we'll just,
This was this month? You did that this month?
No. This was months ago.
I know there's also a group that's been working, rather quietly. Again, these things tend to stay pretty low key, so they're not draw a lot of attention. But they're working with, folks at both SUNY and the school district with multiple languages and reaching out to folks that way and working with some of the, areas where folks that would need to have that information or that outreach are, without getting too graphic about it. Actually, it's one of our.
Thank you. The next item was.
I'm sorry to interrupt, Tom, but I just want to ask a question that was related to before. And for the chief, did we ever translate our law into Spanish and post it?
That's a really
don't
good
believe so.
question, and we didn't. The folks I reached out to who are legal don't have the language, and the folks who maybe have the language don't have the legal, so it needs to be a special, it's a special service we need to find.
There was a young.
One of the conversations that I had, with the town attorney was that it can't just be someone that says, oh, well, I'll translate it for you. Being that it's a law, it needs to be someone with the, proper credentials and everything.
Well, wasn't there somebody here at one of our meetings who had cards. She was,
Yeah,
Miriam.
those cards are available, but that's just a little thing. It just says, I don't want to answer your question. I'm not opening the door.
Translate like AI and then go to a lawyer.
Yeah,
What I had suggested in the past is that there are translation services that professionally, do legal translations.
that's what we
And,
need.
and I think that's what needs to be done. I mean, and it also begs the question about some of our alerts that are put out by the police department, that maybe they should also be posted in Spanish.
Yep.
Okay,
Agreed.
good
Yeah,
idea.
when the roads are closed or something like that, yes, for sure. Edgar, if you have contacts for that specialized legal translation, that would be very welcome. Because
Yes,
our
yes,
town attorney was not aware.
right.
do you
So
know?
there are legal services they charge. I will pursue that information. Okay.
Okay,
And while I have your attention, let me just, I want to just clarify something that was covered again. It's a question for the chief. He addressed it, but I just want to be clear in my mind. The example that was given of a call coming in of someone being taken by mass people and the response of the police department. Once a police department arrives, and the chief says something about that we can request IDs, I would assume of the, let's say, presumed federal officers and of the person being taken. Will it be a policy to ask, understanding that they can refuse both the federal agents and maybe even the person being taken? Is my understanding clear?
Yeah, and not just for that, but really just in general course of business, if our officers are dealing with any civilian, they ask them to identify themselves, and with the exception of, if they're walking on foot patrol and they say hello to someone as they're walking down the street, but if they're dealing in an official capacity with someone on a call for service, generally we ask for identification. So that would go for that call
That's a sign
and
up
pretty much
fee.
every other call.
Are you here
Okay.
to speak to the police commission,
Not the police.
the town board, regular
Yeah.
town
Public
board?
hearing for the charter.
Oh, okay.
That's Anton.
Okay,
How are you?
oh my gosh, look at you, slim down.
Okay.
Yeah.
So don't sign it.
Thank you for the good questions.
Sign in.
Oh, I thought she was saying.
Okay, sorry, we've got a bunch of talking going on at once. So Edgar, did you get the answer or did you still have another
Yes, I
question?
did. And I said, actually, thank you to everyone for the asking the really good, important questions tonight.
Edgar, let me ask this question because yeah, I think it may follow up with the conversation we had I keep saying last month, it's last meeting of
Yeah,
last week.
Yes.
Is there any way that, I mean, to me, some of this is like wellness. Is there any way that Phoenix might be able to help in this endeavor, or something you might have a chat with him about with respect to reaching those communities, because he's got that guy doing the translation, and since you were going to be covering.
Yes. So, yes, I did reach out. I did talk to him. And I indicated that it was important that the board have a conversation with him, probably in an executive session. Some of it in public, but some of it maybe an executive session. And we agreed that in the coming week or two, we would try and arrange that.
Okay, I thought we had just, because of your work in this area, I thought we told you to just go ahead and take care of what needed.
Well,
to be
meet
done.
with
I think
him.
he did. I think
Yeah.
that's what he did.
Oh,
And
okay,
we-
so
now
we
the
need to-
follow-up is that so I'm aware of some things that are happening that have not been that are happening, so we can get filled in on it, okay? That would be-
Right.
But to follow up on that, the Office of Community Wellness does publish a monthly newsletter. And it feels to me like a regular feature of that should be in Spanish to the Spanish-speaking community, know your rights, and here they are in a brief form. So that, I think, would be a really important public service for our community
Th-
wellness.
th-
I don't
Kitty,
think
that's a good
also-
suggestion. He does, publish some things in Spanish at times.
Well, the newsletter is in both, but I think just given the climate, news about your rights, if you are a brown person, should be included in every issue. Or if you feel that you are not safe, there should be equal opportunity given in both English and Spanish, on how to feel safe in this immigration, detention climate.
Well,
And
I,
just
you know,
say
the
that
other,
some of what I was mentioning is they're working in other languages as well. It's just.
Oh, good.
Not just, Spanish speaking people
Okay.
who are at risk here. There's other
Yeah, well, as we
populations.
just learned, yeah.
well, to piggyback on that, I think it would be important that all of our communication to the public be in both English and Spanish. The website, I mean, just in general, it shouldn't be just because we're in a situation with respect to the federal government running around collecting people.
Mhm.
So I just think it's just good policy for us as an agent of people to be able and have all of our information and communication to the public in general be in both English and Spanish. And so I think that our webpage information should be in both English and Spanish. I think our meeting notices should be in both English and Spanish. It should be a standardized practice and not something that happens because we're in a situation like this, and it should get done.
And I think our e-alerts especially, those are meant to be very topical, timely pieces of information.
If I can, just to follow up on that, is the board okay for any legal documents? Obviously, we have to use legal translation services, but we have multiple Spanish speaking officers.
If
I
they
have
could do it,
resources that for things like our social media posts and things of that
When the
nature.
street's closed or something like that.
And we're okay with that. as
all of
opposed
it.
to
I mean,
Using legal.
and it doesn't
translation
necessarily have to
services.
be two separate things. I mean, you could, if you're
Yeah,
doing a
same
Twitter post,
document, right.
it's in English
Yep.
and in Spanish.
And that
I
is-
just want to make sure the board's okay. I don't see an issue with it personally, but I want to make sure the board's okay with just using one of our multiple officers that can translate it, or one of our other resources, as opposed to paying.
Yeah,
for-
non-legal stuff,
Do
yeah.
we want
yeah.
do we want to take a motion and vote on it so we can make it official?
Can I just add one quick thing, please?
Yeah,
So our website does allow you to choose the language that you would like to read it in. Right at the top, it lets you select from many different languages. So it'll just translate it right there on the website.
Oh, okay,
The
we'll have to
things
try
you
one out
learn.
to see how it works.
well, it apparently isn't obvious, because if
How often do you look at our website?
Well, I'm
up
there.
there it is, yep.
Select language right at the top of the page. Wow,
Uh,
look at that. Thank you, Rosanna.
Okay,
You're welcome.
we're gonna try that out, see how well it works.
I'd like to add
No,
about the,
it's
I like to
there, but
add-
you're looking for information, it's at the very tippy top,
Right.
kind of hidden.
We could make that.
Looks
box
like a
look
search
bigger.
box.
Right.
I want to add something about the translation.
Looking at the other part. Oh, sorry, Edgar, go ahead.
Yeah, I want to add something about translations that I've been involved in my life about translating. I don't offer to translate just at any time. I can do it on one-on-one. The translating of written text is something
Yeah.
that's technical, and if it's legal, with all respect to our officers that speak Spanish, I don't think we can put that burden on them to translate anything that's legal in nature, notification. Of course, I'm happy that they're able on the spot when they're involved with a call that they can translate in one-on-one. But for the sake of documents, that it really should be done by professionals. Translation is not because you speak the language doesn't mean that you can translate a document in the best possible fashion.
Right, I don't think at this point we're talking about documents, we're talking more about notices, like there's a lockdown drill at the school
Or
or,
Nixle alert, Henry
Yeah.
W. Du Bois is closed.
yeah, the road is closed or something like that, and then, but I know that, Office of Community Wellness does do translations of all of their flyers and notices. So that's another thing we could look at if we have a particular thing, I don't know what we do about like trying to translate the agenda. If that's something that this
Well,
thing of
it's interesting using the Spanish function here. So let's see if that works to translate an agenda.
outside, so shall we, how about I make a motion that we continue to look into the ability to use multiple languages with our communications to our community? And whether it's in all of our.
I'd like to second that.
Okay, any more discussion? All in favor?
Hi.
Very
Aye.
good.
Thank you.
Okay, we still have some time. Tom, did you have another topic? Okay.
I certainly, this is great, the conversation is really taken off here. In connection with my next point, I think it's a problem if, two ways. The chief has just said that he added another tab to his webpage. I think that things needs to happen in conversation with the police commission. I understand that it's more or less his webpage, but it seems to me to be definitely a matter for how police and public and police commission interact. I've mostly come here saying something has happened to the site where things were suddenly missing. And police commission was not told except when I told them. Now, I'm going to mention another item that I don't think you know about except through me, which is that the monthly reports started showing up on the page. I assume in response to a certain someone raising the issue. But I think that needs to be discussed in your circle. Like, just doing this one thing may raise other questions, concerns, may be improved in many ways, right? And just for it to happen doesn't allow that conversation to happen.
So I think in that particular case, that discussion was had and it's,
Not in public.
yes, it was. We talked about okay, well, whatever.
Okay, I will continue with this. I mean, that's my recommendation. I don't know.
And I understand that, but at some point, I mean, when Chris is gonna go mow a thing or do an alert, we don't sit around and talk about it. I mean, it's his department to manage and run. And if there's information that the chief of police believes needs to be on the webpage, he doesn't need to come to the police commission to say, Mother, may I put this up on the page? If in his discretion or her discretion as the chief of that department, he manages the department and he should be able to put up there as long as it's not in violation of town policy. If he believes there's something that needs to go up there that is beneficial to the public, he should just be allowed to put it up. It doesn't need to be a 5-hour discussion about it. I understand some of the points that you're making, but this level of micromanagement is disconcerting to me because things come and happen in a police department quickly and things move quickly and rapidly and we meet once a month. So there are times when he or she may I need to put this, I think this is a good thing to put up there. He or she may have that conversation with the supervisor and the supervisor says, okay, I'm gonna do it. And it's done. It doesn't necessarily need to be a conversation for the commission. The second part of this the point that I want to make is this particular group of meetings here is not a community advisory kind of thing. It is an opportunity for the town board to come hear what the chief has to say to learn what they're doing, for us to raise issues about things that they're doing or things that we collect as elected officials to convey to him in a public forum so that people know that we're doing. It's not really designed to be an opportunity for the public to come and say, you know, add this or do this or do that, which lends itself to those conversations and coffee with the chief, who is the manager of the department. And if there's something that comes out of those conversations that he thinks are good ideas or things that need to become, that need to happen, it would make sense for him to come to the board and discuss those things. But I don't think that this forum is the place for the public to come and say, I want you to put this on the agenda, or you need to be talking about this, or you need to be doing this, or you need to be doing that. That's my opinion from working and doing this for an extended period of time. And it may have changed after they brought this back, but it's an opportunity for the commission to hear from the chief, to raise concerns with issues within the department or the operation of the department or the budget within the department, and then to take action as it relates there. It's not an opportunity or a forum for the public to come and say, you need to be doing this or you need to be doing that. That's what his conversations with the public are for.
I need to comment on this, okay? This has been part of the misunderstanding about the police commission and about chapter 34 and the resolutions and E203. All of that was intended to have two-way dialogue and involvement with the community. And
I don't disagree with that.
you may disagree, but that's what the written
No,
record
I
has
said I
and
don't
what the
disagree with
precedent.
that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that the main thing to keep in mind is there's many different ways that we are doing now with communication. So this is one of them. We have department head meetings once a month, and there's communications that happen there because the departments need to function together. And, there's a lot of different ways, and I think we should keep them all as open means of communication and not say that one's right or one's wrong, or one can do this and one can't do that. I mean, that's what we're here for.
And I definitely appreciate what I'm hearing. I'm suggesting that something which is to the heart of information of the public is something that the police commission, as police commission, not as town board, it happens right now, town board is acting as police commission, but as police commission, something that's very much of interest to the police commission and its public listeners, they should be aware of. So in any case, I discovered and I want to acknowledge that this seems to have taken place, that the monthly report made to the board, which existed in a printed document and was attached to the agenda of the town board, has been posted on the department's website, going back to last February. And I'd like to just combine that with my recommendation that two reports be combined. The one that the chief normally made to the police commission, which primarily turns on commendations, complaints, use of force, sometimes training, and that those two reports should just be one, and that's the report that should be on the website, and that would be the continuous, consistent set of information, that items that are of interest to the public that would be there on a regular basis. And that was my recommendation.
So using the report that we received today, that includes defensive action, I would have problems posting that information publicly.
As he says it, not as it's written, as he
Right,
says it.
right.
Okay,
That's the kind of thing that gets also.
because it's privacy. For me, it's a privacy
Some of the
issue
details-
for
some of the
defensive
details,
action. Yeah.
Not that in a hurry. And some of the elements of it, which are normally discussed.
Yeah, responded to a call with a minor, boom, done. But the full form should not be public because that's what we get as a commission. And I would object to putting anybody's personal information and goings on and
I have no
responses.
on that form.
Good.
Sometimes I'd like to see a blank one and maybe I'll foil that, but,
On the defensive action report?
I'm sorry,
On the defensive action report?
the whole monthly report, including.
I was gonna say the defensive action reports are posted on our website. There's a blank form.
Okay, all right, I'll check it out. And then, so I'm asking you to consider asking the chief to create a consolidated report that gets put up monthly. That includes both the, calls for service information that you get as town board, which for some reason, I don't know, the commission didn't have the chief report on, though I don't know why the commission wouldn't
those
be
are
interested
important.
in calls for service
I'd
too.
love to hear about
I
that.
think there's lots of other information like the response times, which calls for service actually come from the public, which are generated by officers. These are interesting questions, particularly seeing them over time, but I only get so much opportunity, so I only talk about certain, seem to me, simple actions. But it seems to me that there's a whole world of conversation to be had about what constitutes appropriate transparency of the police department operations. I'd love to somebody, for a commission to take that on, but, maybe this isn't the right calendar here.
Well,
for that.
I mean,
Well, the
But
other-
certainly right now, at a minimum step, I'm asking for the consolidated report to be put up.
Well, and there's also an opportunity, I think in my mind, the things that you're asking about are conversations that one might have at those coffee clatches that you have, or setting up a meeting with, let me finish, please. Setting up a meeting with the chief to get that detail and that granular of information that you want, because it is time consuming to pull that kind of information together and to expect that type of information with all the different calls that they get in and the responses that they do with cross jurisdictional, if they help somebody else out, which really isn't their call, but they're there because a chase happened from Rosendale that ended up being in New Paltz, so all of those, there's all that kind of stuff. So there needs to be some specificity about the types of information and not just throwing up a grab bag of saying, I want to see every single thing that we do.
I'm just saying there is a conversation to be had about these things, and it doesn't happen, monthly conversation, at least at a Starbucks.
And I agree, because when I see 1,286 calls for service in 1 month, I'm like, well, what were they? Were they break-ins? I lost my cat? They're going with the ambulance because they always go,
That
just
information
things like
is
that.
not so.
And 16 arrests, were they
This is all on
traffic
computer.
arrests? Were they, So I think that's important information for our community to have, so they understand.
It
the
is
service.
important, and
Yeah.
we used to, we knew how many calls he had for a lockout. We knew how many burglar alarms. So, between the time I was doing this and the time that it moved away from whatever, some of those things
Well, let's have that conversation.
disappeared.
Yeah, no, I think we know it's there, the information's there.
Because I used to complain about, why are we unlocking people's doors when there's a locksmith here? The first time it's gratis. The second time you should be paying.
all right.
And now there's 2 alarms.
And when your alarm goes off.
Yeah.
and-
Yeah, a lot of those things happen and they're like false alarms, but it's important to know, because until they go, they don't know if it's a false alarm or not.
Do you still do street lights? Yeah, we used to, how many times this street light was out, that street light was like, why are you reporting this?
Because it's important to know it hasn't been taken care of.
And
But
so if my
they're-
item be left open, or will there be decision today?
No, we'll
We'll
talk.
I think we should talk to the chief about these things and then we can come out.
Chief?
Right, I do
Let's not
like,
put this off.
I know,
I
I'm
do
saying
think
we need to be able to look at what it's gonna take to be able to make it usable, but not,
I think that
Next
I'm
time.
sorry.
Most urgent thing for us right now
No,
is to resume the annual reports. I just looked at the City of Syracuse Police Department Annual Report. It's about 37 pages. But it has the sort of generic roundup of the activities for the past year. And I think that, putting it all in one place, since you have been compiling it, I don't think that we need 37 pages. We're not the size of Syracuse. But if you could look at some models for an annual report, that would be a good.
did Rob do
good
that?
start.
Did Rob had?
Started for a couple of years and then, yeah, he stopped.
But I think
he
the
did it
thing
for
is-
3 years.
Is
Right.
to ask you to look into this and come back to us with what, from your standpoint, is doable and meaningful, and give us some examples.
Sure.
And then we can
Okay.
decide what we want to do after that.
Alrighty.
And what your label is for.
Okay, what else?
Right, and just my last point within this rubric was, to include besides, because one of the items is the injured officer, I'm still asking for something about the injured civilian.
I think you report on
That's
any,
per-
I mean,
That's
there's
right.
the-
That's part of the officer defensive action.
It's not.
Yeah.
part of the defensive action.
Right. I don't think we make that public, the civilian's name. Is that
No,
what you're,
it's not.
no? Okay,
But that.
If there
individual
was-
Injured and was, to maybe to some extent of gravity, I'm just so we know that is also happening. It's being attended.
I mean,
Okay.
there's times when they respond to a traffic incident where there's an injury already there,
No, this is as part of defensive action.
or defensive action. Okay, thank you.
Right,
So using the example that I gave earlier, responded to a call. Are you saying injured by the officer or just injured, period?
In the interaction.
Yeah, I guess in situations like defensive action reports, it's gonna be hard to sort out.
but I mean, there's domestic violence injuries, there's,
Well, I would think when there's a call and someone ends up getting transported, that EMS is calling you transport, that's included in the report, right?
So with the officer defensive action reports, the injuries that are included in that are injuries that are a result of
The
the
defensive action.
defensive action. If we go to a call that's already a medical emergency where someone is injured, that's not reported on. I mean, we do our best to respond to every rescue call and new calls.
Mhm.
We just, anything that could be looked at or deemed that it was caused by defensive action involving an officer is what we report on. That's what's on those forms.
Okay,
And it details whether we provided treatment, whether they went to the hospital for treatment, whether they refused treatment, what the injuries were, whether they were photographed. That's all part of that document.
I think we're getting people who are interested to talk about,
Cable.
This is the cable crew.
okay, well, we're still.
I want to thank the board for commission for taking up the first half of.
Well, we did get to the end. We got to the annual budget request, so.
Right. No, yes,
Okay.
but there were 3 more items
Oh.
on here,
You
but,
got 5 minutes.
sorry,
5 minutes.
I mean,
Unless we need a bio break.
Yeah, and the motion that we carried, is that something that needs to be done for the board as well? So that it's a board directive to the
Yes,
department, so
yes,
it
yes.
can't be a police commission.
No, the
thing.
police commissions, we all have to do the same. The police commission will send it to the board, so we can talk about it and make it.
Gotcha.
Okay, unless you have a really quick,
I do have a really quick report.
okay, you're ceding your time?
go
We're done?
ahead.
Go ahead,
Thanks, Tom.
Anna.
As the village's police commission liaison, I believe I should be CC'd on as much as possible. I should at least be notified of the meeting dates, times, and agendas directly by email. This has not happened. It is problematic. I should be on the email list. I should know what's going on. The fact that I have to scramble and try to figure it out is
Okay, it's easy.
completely,
We'll get you on the list. Okay.
Make sure that, when the agenda goes out, that you get copied on.
and, and also that I'm in on when meetings are supposed to be happening. The
Well,
other
there's-
thing
At our
is
regular
that
town board
I've
meeting
asked
at 6
before-
o'clock.
The other thing is that I've asked before, that I be invited into executive session when it pertains to things that we're discussing with the chief. I don't need to know specific things that are happening within the board without, that don't, that I don't need to know, but as much as possible, I need to, be a part of the conversations as I'm part of the oversight as well.
Anybody else have anything before we adjourn?
This is the police commission part of the town board meeting.
Yeah.
We are acting as the police commission right now. We're gonna adjourn this part of the meeting and open the regular town board meeting.
Okay, do I have a motion to
Just-
adjourn?
if I can, sorry, just one quick thing, circling back on the evidence room audits that we spoke about, the detectives and lieutenant are in the process of picking a date in the next couple of weeks, because it's that time of year, and I will send an email out on when we're gonna do that.
Okay, okay.
That's all I
Thank
have.
you. Did you get that, Rosanna? Hopefully she did.
Yes, I got it.
Okay, I move that we adjourn this portion of our meeting that's dealing with the police department. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we're gonna take break here.
Talk about budget. Want to make a comment? They so.
Edgar, are you talking to us? You might want to mute yourself. There you go.
We're just gonna take a little break.
Yes.
here.
Yes,
Okay.
I'm looking.
Okay,
Okay.
very good.
Hey, hi, Joe. Hi,
Thank you.
public
Are you
access people.
Staying for the rest of the.
I can't,
Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.
guess I was left a little confused about the status of my request to consolidate. the two.
How are you? Gentlemen?
We're gonna ask Matt to take a look at that. other
Okay,
stuff.
because we did talk, you did ask him about the annual report, so we did ask him about.
That's all it's got, 'cause there's stuff on here that I think is more detailed. Than we can tell us how we would accomplish.
Yeah, I'll follow up with
The next meeting.
You don't need to say that. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Okay, so.
Did you get my email? Okay. Have they figured out what happened? Who did what?
No.
I was in Ireland, so I'm like sitting in this meeting and I'm like, what the hell?
Just. Yeah. All right, yes, I saw you this summer. And they're gonna look like this comprehensive plan, okay, like, in the weeds of like village, right?
Hmm?
7 o'clock.
Yeah, 7 o'clock.
Are you, sorry. I'm best. You. Nice to meet you.
So I had an idea, which you may have already thought of, but my father used to say, "You make a good detective." He was being ironic because I used to ask a lot of questions, which my family was not a good thing. So I became an English teacher. And anyway, so I was thinking, do you know the motive behind, any ideas about the motive behind vandalism?
Yes, we'll talk about it later. We're all.
I do, I'm
Oh,
a member of the.
Are you saying something?
yeah.
Did you sign in?
I did.
Okay.
Does that give you a list of suspects?
Ron?
No, Moran,
Okay, we'll talk.
remember his first name,
Ron,
Ron, in the, what's his name?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
And
So,
it's mine.
I'm good friends with Ron's son. That's Andrew.
That's the one.
That's the one.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's-
Andrew's the friendly one. The dad is a bit.
Okay,
Usually not sober PM.
Andrew's mom.
Yes.
I don't know if you remember 15 years ago, sent troops to Iraq.
Catherine, she's very big in St. Andrews.
He and I were reading.
Yes, oh, there was a big fundraise for so we can have our, yeah.
Giving away all his old debt.
Somebody on
Great.
Saturday at the end
Yeah,
of Kings Rally in
do that.
Kingston.
Yeah. that's
Um,
wonderful.
somebody,
Thank you for doing that.
I was talking to a couple of other AFT members. American Federation
Thank you,
teachers.
same here.
And,
I'm sure we'll have a wonderful public. comment.
yeah, I had an
Yeah.
idea while we
I'm
were
sure I'll
talking,
talk to you again
maybe
many
running for school board.
You should definitely run for school.
So I don't even know if you knew that.
Then you were a teacher.
30
I
years.
know about senior
Yeah.
discount.
Well, 20 years ago.
First, you gotta wait till the next, you have to wait till the next
Old
round of
people
elections. for-
Got a free.
What is that?
Oh, in case,
2026?
Yeah.
in the new franchise.
Is there some,
And then
they said there was
Yeah,
something
yeah.
I could pick up and I
Okay,
needed
understand.
50
Well,
signatures.
thank you for that.
Yeah.
It's
You know,
a very
you can go to those school.
But
board
it
meetings and
is,
take
and
notes.
it is very much.
You can go to the school board meetings and speak. I mean, they have topics and you can give public comment.
Ah.
They do allow that for sure. So,
And I'm sure the website gives instructions on people who want to run.
oh,
Oh,
yeah, it sure does.
what's the website?
It's on the,
Board of Ed.
yeah, if you Google school board, Board of Ed,
New
New
Paltz-
Paltz School District, New
Yeah.
Paltz Central School District,
Oh,
Board of Education.
Yeah.
And election questions can also go to the Board of Elections.
speaking of which, I'm perplexed.
Oh,
The last election, we went to the town hall, the town community center.
Yeah,
to-
you
to-
You still can.
Early.
but
starting
prior to
Saturday.
that, We always went to the school on Huguenot Street.
right. It's
So
the
which
difference
is
between the early voting.
Early voting
and
is at the community center, regular time vote, that one day of actual voting
Yeah.
is at,
At the school.
At your polling place.
or your polling.
Yeah, whatever it is.
Well, that would be, the school was always my.
Okay.
So starting Saturday through next Sunday, you can vote at the community center.
So let's call this meeting to. order.
Okay.
We got lots. Randall thinks he's gonna get home in time for the Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order for the town board. I move that we call the town board meeting of October 23rd to order at 7:04. Do I have a second?
Sec.
On favor?
Aye.
Please stand for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag, United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okey dokey. Who would like to read our acknowledgement?
Anybody, I have it in front of me unless someone else wants.
All
to.
right, I've got it. The town of New Paltz humbly acknowledges that we are on the traditional lands of the Muncie, Esopus, and Lenape people. The Indian Removal Act of 1830 forced the people to relocate to inhospitable territory, far from the bountiful valley and mountains we inhabit today. The town further acknowledges that much of the physical structure of our town and village was built by enslaved Africans who labored as the property of their owners until 1827 on this very land. We acknowledge the contributions, resilience, and accomplishments of the BIPOC community who have overcome historic injustice to inform our past and inspire our future. Please visit the resource library on our website to learn more. We encourage residents and visitors to learn more about the contributions and sacrifices made by the indigenous people and enslaved Africans by visiting these sites. Okay, do we have a motion to approve the agenda?
I'm going to move that we approve the agenda. I had made a commitment to the village yesterday to amend the agenda, and I'm going to read a statement about that. Yesterday, I sent an email to Mayor Rogers and the village board asking them to resolve to abandon the dissolution process and only pursue consolidation. I offered to put it on tonight's agenda. The mayor and village crafted a joint resolution. I cannot support the town's adoption of their resolution unless and until the outstanding lawsuit by the village against the town is withdrawn. The town has been served with 2 separate lawsuits concerning our rejection of the annexation petition. Today, I read the one in which the plaintiffs are Andrews Wave LLC, Beautiful Monster LLC, Commercial Street Partners LLC, and Board of Trustees of the Village of New Paltz against Town Board of the Town of New Paltz. In the October 15th issue of HV1, a week before the lawsuits were filed, the mayor stated that if elected as supervisor, he would immediately settle the litigation. How would that work? The words "the town board" appear 61 times in the complaint. Who would represent the town in drawing up the settlement? If one of the plaintiffs is elected to the town board, would he have to recuse himself from drafting the settlement? The plaintiffs have requested that both court dates be set in late January, well after the election for supervisor. I cannot support a resolution that creates the appearance of a unified goal in one forum when one party is actively undermining the other's autonomy in another. Therefore, I will not present the village resolution for adoption by the town. Thank you.
Okay, all right, so are we amending the agenda or not?
I have no motion to
No
amend the
motion to
agenda.
amend the agenda.
Okay, let's
So we are approving the agenda. I have moved that we approve the agenda. Do I have a second?
second.
On favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All right, some announcements.
Are we to do the public hearing the public hearing is at the top of the list. We should be doing that before we start going through this.
Oh,
Oh,
I'm
it's
so
very,
sorry.
very
It certainly
top.
is.
Yeah.
It's at the very top. I
Yeah.
skipped right over it. Okay, I call the opening of the public hearing for Spectrum Northeast LLC Charter Communications Franchise Agreement to order. I need a second.
Second.
On favor?
Aye.
Thank you. All righty. Would someone like to come and give us just a brief setting of why we're here?
Well, I can do it.
No.
Well, I think
No.
this is the public.
Part of this over. Thank you guys so much. I'm Joseph Davis with the Public Access Board. Thank you so much. So we've been working at this for years and years. This has been the first franchise agreement for the town. It would be since 2019, and for the village, just last night approved the first one since 1995. They're identical, other than the village was replaced with the town. And we've worked really hard with Spectrum and our previous liaison, Kitty Brown, and our current liaison, Randall. We thank you so much for your efforts in helping us communicate and get really the best we could from Spectrum, including for the first time an HD signal for our public access station. So New Paltz in the very near future could have a station working with the community, with SUNY New Paltz, where I'm a digital media alumni, to help archive and, put together amazing projects about what's going on here in our town, in our village and beyond. So we're right there at the finish line, and I want to thank you all. And in time, more than ever, is it important to have local, untouched media that can never be bought and can never be advertised on. So it's so important. We thank you. And in the words of Mr. Rogers, Fred Rogers, I like to say, won't you be my neighbor and help us create public access TV in the 21st century here.
Okay,
Thanks,
Thank you for all
Joe.
your work, yeah.
now what we're really here to talk about though is the actual agreement, the actual terms and everything of the agreement. So
Yeah.
hopefully, people are gonna be able to do that. Right? Because that's what we have to adopt,
Yeah.
is the agreement.
Well, we should have taken the opportunity to look at that. These people here are to talk about their support for this document that we have to
Right,
agree to.
right.
So they should be able to come up
So I
and
need
persuade
the
us to
sheet.
approve it.
The sheet. So make sure we don't miss anybody who signed up.
Did everybody sign up who wants to comment on the public access? Or any, please?
Randall, as you were going through it, did you redline it? Did you note anything that you felt needed more input from the government on this, from our point of view?
No. I mean,
Okay,
we hit, to be perfectly honest, the document that I began working with had been redlined to death to the point. And so, I mean, I kind of wanted to squeeze them a little bit more for our franchise fee, but
well, we
the public
can.
access
Okay,
committee
so.
talked me
so
out of that,
the
so.
Public hearing part of it, so let's hear what.
Well, she was asking me a question, so I was
Okay,
responding
that's
to
fair.
that. So
That's true.
Okay.
I think this is a good deal, and I think we should
Okay,
hear what
let's-
other people
let's-
have to
Yeah,
say.
that's
All
right.
right.
So the first, are you gonna come up together? Anton and Lisa gonna come up together?
No, just Anton.
Okay, just Anton, what's your names here?
I thought that we legally had to sign in if we were present.
No, ma'am, just if you wanna speak.
So, ladies and gentlemen of the board, thank you so much for working with us on this. It's been a long and tedious process, that my forebears, I mean, for the record, I'm chair of the Public Access Committee. Kitty, I know you've been with public access a long time before I was, and, I know my forebears have worked, please excuse me, I'm terribly dehydrated. I've worked extremely hard to try and get a resolution, but we've always been met with, unfortunately, with previous people within the Charter Spectrum franchise, it was very difficult to actually achieve anything. The answer was usually no, you know, and I would just like to recognize Brendan and his predecessor. I'm trying to think with Alex.
Alex
Yeah.
Romano.
Worked so hard to work with us, and we've been able to close the gap, which is quite remarkable. So I think what we've got is a really good deal for us. We've got HD at no cost, because I don't know if you guys have actually watched Channel 23, but it's unwatchable at the
Yeah.
present moment in time. We've got great plans for it through the non-profit NPC TV. More involvement with the community, and particularly in this day and age, preservation of First Amendment rights. That's the main remit of it. As Joe said, it can never be bought, it can never be advertised on, and everybody has a right to stand up and say anything they want to. You won't get muzzled. It's your station. It belongs to the public. So it's just us to try and facilitate that. And we intend to put out an HD live stream alongside on our website as well, which once we've got everything configured, should be fairly easy to do. Plus also provide archives through Vimeo, which again is no advertising on that, which is great. Unlike YouTube, which, you know, we lost the public access channel as a result of the Zoom bomb. So YouTube, unfortunately, their algorithm, advertising algorithm generated. So they'll just like censor anything if they don't like it, or it doesn't catch the prerequisite number of views. It doesn't keep people's eyes on the screen. They suppress it. It's not going to appear in your feed. Same with all social media. And the problem is with social media is if anything's free, you're the product. You have to understand that. Vimeo, we pay for, it's a paid for service. It doesn't carry advertising. It's not algorithm driven. So we can guarantee we've got that. And we are able to live stream on that. Although I would say, I'd like to, given the issues that we've had previously, with perhaps poorly controlled live streams, we could do a better job of that. So maybe we'll not put it up in real time, but we'll capture it, broadcast it later. You know, there's always the Zoom, you know, which is
So,
available.
Anton, are you saying that these meetings will be broadcast on Channel 23?
They certainly can.
That would be great.
We certainly can do.
So once they've been recorded
if,
here.
If Randall, our liaison, says, please put these up, then we'll do that, you know, we'll absolutely do that. Plus, we'll also maintain an archival record through
Great.
Vimeo where you can go back and watch stuff, you know, later.
And do you still have the policy that if people want to send you their movie of their high school graduation, they fill out a form?
Yep.
They send you the video and.
Yeah, we've created a website, nctv.org, which again, listening about multi-language, I think that's something that we should probably do as well. We certainly want to do multi-language programming, and I have a friend particularly who's quite keen to do a piece about how to stay safe in the current environment in Spanish. So it's a wonderful resource for the community. It's a wonderful resource. If there's an emergency for rapid dissemination of information, we have the ability to put text information across the bottom of the screen,
Oh, right.
all that kind of stuff. So we've invested a lot. We have a full HD workflow at the moment, albeit some of our equipment is well out of date and it's probably end of life. Like the broadcast server, unfortunately, requires Windows 10, and it won't run on anything later than that. So it's end of life at this point. But, you know, we're resourceful people. We'll come up with something that works. So I just want to urge the board to accept this. I think it's a great deal, and I think we've covered an awful lot of ground to get where we are. And it's taken many years, and not just our current team, but our forebears as well, to actually get where we are. And I think it's something that we should definitely jump to as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Anton.
Okay. Next I have Dan Kraus.
I just moved back to New Paltz, just over 2 years ago. And, daily, if weather permits, I take a 3.5 mile loop around town. And while I've been doing that, I've noticed a couple of safety issues, public safety issues, one that could be remedied very easily. It seems to be a large part of my loop is up and down Huguenot Street, about 2 miles of it. So a lot of people, too many people, don't seem to know which side of the road they're supposed to be walking on.
Okay, so Dan, I'm
And
sorry.
that causes,
Can I stop you for just a minute? This is the public hearing?
This
for
is
the
just
public
about
access
public
team?
TV.
We can do
So-
public comment in a minute.
I mean, unless does anyone else want to talk about public TV?
I think,
Okay,
yeah.
Dan,
When we come back to,
Just
when we,
sit right there and you'll come right back up as soon as the public hearing.
an attorney from
yes,
There you
That's
go.
Okay,
yeah.
all
Okay.
right,
Anybody who wants to speak for public hearing for the franchise agreement for Spectrum,
that's what we're doing right now.
yeah,
So,
so, but
is
you're
that
calling
Martin?
from the same
Is
list.
that Martin? Is Martin coming? Yes, okay, a public hearing?
Public TV.
Yeah.
Okay.
Excellent. Okay.
I'm an amateur videographer.
Oh.
I've been living in the area about 30 years. I take a lot of video of different events happening in the area. Oscar, Mohawk. Sometimes I'm on a mountain bike, sometimes I'm hiking. I used to have a motorcycle, in my car, and I've taken video of several sporting events like SOS and Rock the Ridge, Ride the Ridge, New Paul's Turkey Trot, the zombie running up the new Rosendale, and I just like to put my stuff out there. And I just do it for fun, and I think this would be a good outlet for more people to see my work. And that's about it.
Thank
Right,
you.
thank you.
Thank you. Joe Davis, did you have more to tell us?
I think I'm good with what I already said, so
Okay,
move on.
Bob Fagan.
I'm also a member of the committee, and I want to thank Kitty for many years. And a lot of people, Tony Hoganson, Andrea Russo, David Rent. Yeah, all these
Mark
people.
Portier was on that first
Yes.
committee. Wow, that's right. Goes way back.
I was on it,
Oh, yeah.
not as a liaison.
Mhm.
But, yeah, I appreciate Randall coming in and, really getting us to the finish line here. Thank you very much. I think, public access, like Anton said, it is a First Amendment right to be able to present your views and also have them heard. And nowadays, you can think cable is becoming less and less of a technology that people are using. And channel 23 is might be just a number on the dial, but it is public access, and it's more than just a channel. Because we will be doing streaming and be able to get this out on social media, but we won't be limited by the algorithms that YouTube gives us and Facebook gives us. So I would just like you to be able to pass this, because the village did a very good job and passed it last night. And all we need to get to the finish line is for you to pass.
Okay, so the village didn't make any changes last night?
No,
Okay,
and it's the exact same.
okay.
We had all the right sweeteners in there.
Yeah.
Ben Healy, I hope that's Healy.
Yeah.
Okay, it's Healy, did I get it right? Okay.
Yes, hi,
Hi.
hi, my name's Ben. I am a veteran. I've been living in New Paltz, on and off since about 1996 when I was a kid. My involvement began with Joe, and we host a fundraiser for the New Paltz American Legion once a month. On the third Sundays, the Lemon Squeeze was kind enough to donate the space to us.
Wow.
Because we no longer have a clubhouse. And we are going into next month will be our third showcase. They've been very well attended, and we have been filming them. We take local artists, musicians, comedians, performance artists of all stripes, and we platform them, put them on stage. We bring people in to raise money for the vets. We feed everyone dinner and we give them a show. And being able to take those performances and put them, like Bob said, not just on channel 23, but on the new digital media is absolutely crucial. Today, you probably heard that everyone is a brand. Everyone's name is their own brand. If you want to succeed in the new media landscape, people need to know who you are. Having our local artists get a platform like that, that not just reaches the people in the room, but reaches people outside of the room and ongoing, who can then go and look at the film that we make and use that stuff to promote their artistic endeavors or musical career or whatever it may be. It's an incredible asset, and it will help set our community of New Paltz ahead of others, not just in our area, but nationally, to actually have a oiled machine that is taking our community members and uplifting their profiles so that we can spend more of our lives immersed in art. So I urge you to accept the franchise agreement without further modification, and I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay, was there anyone else who wanted to speak about the franchise agreement? Oh, yes, okay, sorry. Thank you. Are you Caleb, right?
Thank you very much for your time. I'm in New Paltz about a year now. I'm a Hofstra University TV production and writing alumni, and also a Queens College Master of Arts and Teaching alumni, so I'm a high school teacher as well. So I could definitely speak at length to the educational importance of public access in America. Also to second what fantastic people behind me have said, I think you could create some really fantastic programming for the Hudson Valley and New Paltz specifically. Just I was raised on PBS, so you could have all kinds of creative fun endeavors that could really enrich multilingual, multicultural learning of the community and expand kind of the media network as well. And I envision, I graduated from Oceanside Public High School on Long Island, and I got my start in editing film and stuff in high school. So, you could use this public access to even expand the endeavors in the school systems as well, and increase the technology and media aspect there to get students excited about entering a really fantastic creative industry. Thank you.
You should
Thank
join
you.
the committee.
I would love to.
Do they still have a media room at the high school? At the high school,
In Oceanside? Or-
in New Paltz?
New Paltz.
Yeah,
It was called NPZ TV too, so we'd love to empower.
yeah.
College to work on those.
That was kind of the heyday of our public access.
Yeah.
Well, let's bring it all back. Okay.
Is there anyone else here to speak about the franchise agreement? The franchise agreement. I love the whole thing about public access, but this is actually,
Mhm.
this is about signing up again with Charter Spectrum to be our cable provider. And this is sort of an ancillary thing, yeah,
Well, I read it for 10 years, so
yeah, okay.
I don't really have any more to say about it. I mean, just the big news is that old people like me have given up our annual free month of cable service, right?
Mhm.
We used to get a month of free service if we paid our bill every year on time. That's gone. And are we able to talk about the side agreement? Is there any reason we're not
Is it
talking?
part of this?
Yeah,
The side agreement is separate and apart from that document. There were 11 people, and just so that you know, Cahill, I was in the business, so I'm very familiar. I was with Time Warner when you all were still Time Warner and then spun off to everybody else. There were 11 seniors who had a senior discount.
right.
And I'm sorry you lost it, but I think you'll survive.
Well,
The side
it was an
agreement,
easy
the
thing
side
to
agreement,
give.
the side agreement that has been designed will allow Charter, Spectrum, we will recommend to them organizations or somewhat, what is the
They're gonna be 501c.
501
Right.
Focused on senior.
focused on seniors?
Right.
That, well, I wasn't, you were shaking your head and I was getting to that. We were gonna send them recommendations of organizations and Charter will pick those that they deem appropriate that will be dealing with seniors because that is how we are.
That really came
substituting.
about because when we were talking about the senior discount, we were the last 11 people in the country to get that. And it was a huge headache for Time Warner. We had to go in physically to the office when they had one and say, I'm old, here's my birth certificate, give me my free $50 a month. And since I was one of the people giving that up, I said, okay, what are you going to give us? And they said, okay, you're saving us a huge headache. Let's work something out. So we came up with a side agreement where we will submit the names of local nonprofits and Time Warner Spectrum Charter will donate $15,000 over the 10 years of our new contract at their choice of which of those nonprofits get the money.
That's what I just said,
Specify
right?
that $15,000, not every year for 10
Not
years.
every
It's
year.
a one-time
One shot.
$15,000.
That would have been.
But, we're open for more. We'll
But-
do it more.
And the other part to that, because I know when you do the buck slips and all that kind of stuff that go, it's a pain in the rear end to manage that process. I mean, somebody has to physically go and pull out every single when you're running thousands and thousands of bills
Oh, you mean for the senior
for
discount?
the senior discount. And this
Can we
is,
make it clear, there's no veterans discount either, unfortunately, but there is not.
no, there never was.
But it's been asked.
Yeah, well, there isn't one. It's not
It's not
part of that conversation. Have we finished with everybody?
I hope so. 'Cause we
talking?
Started our discussion about this.
Okay.
Was there anyone else that wanted to talk about
If
it?
I could just address one point that you raised, I'll run to the front. We were particularly adamant that there would be no cost to us for HD, which they've agreed to. They've agreed to also, if they need to bump us, the channel NPZ TV 23 is like, you know, it's been there forever, but they can't guarantee that, you know, for the entire term of the franchise agreement, which I believe is 10 years, they can't guarantee that they won't move us, but if they move us, they're also prepared to provide some financial consideration to help us rebranding with that, which is also in the side letter you've got there, which is really, really helpful because that's a headache if we have to move. But we really felt we wanted to keep the franchise fee where it was. The fact that the seniors are losing their discount, I may as well, you know, you can kick them as well and saying we're also increasing the franchise fee at this point.
Are we?
But we're not increasing the franchise.
Right,
fee,
okay,
we're not.
yeah.
But you have the right at any time during this agreement to request an increase. So that's, you're not tied to that for the duration of the thing. If you feel that the franchise fee needs to be increased, it can be increased up to, I think the level is maximum of 5%.
Yeah, federal law caps it.
It's 3.5.
And we're currently at 3.5,
Right.
and we'd like to keep it at that for
Yeah.
the foreseeable future.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thanks. So can we discuss the agreement now? Right? Because, so one thing is we want, I mean, are we accepting all of this, you know, as? it
Yeah,
is?
I'm basically gonna move that we accept that we accept the franchise agreement, and
Okay, so before, go ahead and make the motion, then we can have discussion.
that's my motion.
I'll second.
Okay, so now let's have some discussion. So what we just heard was something about they can't bump them, but I don't see that specifically in here.
It's in the side letter.
It's in the side letter.
Side letter, nor do I have exhibit A. I don't know why, I don't, but all the locations,
Karen?
I'm missing that part.
I brought a copy,
Okay.
sorry.
Free provision of cable service to designated buildings. One outlet of basic cable service to the locations listed on exhibit A. Provided it's serviceable with a standard installation. Okay, thank you, sir. Right, but still don't have exhibit A, I'm sorry. Okay, so somewhere there's a list of what these buildings are.
Yeah, it's all the municipal buildings. Town hall, fire department, police department, library, I think.
Okay, it says listed on exhibit A,
Courthouse.
but I don't have exhibit A, that's all.
Exhibit is on the back page of the
Ah, thank you, sir. Okay, courthouse, police department, fire station, highway department, town hall, village hall, community center, main meeting room, and community center media room. Okay, that's it. Is that all we need? Do we need anywhere else?
Nope, that's, yeah.
Do we need it at, I can't imagine what else we need. Don't need it for youth program, youth center? No? Yeah, it would. Do you know where the youth center is?
I don't think that was on the list,
I know, I don't know why.
A municipal building.
It actually is, sir.
It is town owned,
It's town-owned, town program. It's a town department.
and they watch a lot of TV.
And they also do a lot of,
Video.
online
Yeah.
videos and games and stuff, so it'd be, just be good to. Mhm.
This is only for cable, it's not for.
Not for internet, only for cable. So you don't want them to watch your great public access stuff there?
No, I didn't know it was a municipal building, or else I would.
Well,
put it-
If we say all municipal buildings and we leave one out, I think it's understood that it's all municipal buildings.
No, I
No?
think we need to be specific and put it on the list, so. That's all, we need to add that one. I can't think of another one. Because we've got.
I didn't think of it either when we went through it.
Well,
Is that gonna,
I think so, I mean.
is that a deal breaker?
I imagine it won't be, but I'll have to get it in, bring it out to you, add it in to sign, but I'm sure. it's-
And that's in the side letter. It's in exhibit A, okay, yeah.
Exhibit A. This is, I guess, is the side letter. This is part about,
Maybe we should have looked at this before today.
well, and then it says that they commit to providing 2,500 to each municipality to assist with the cost of rebranding and remarketing if the PEG channel is moved from channel 23 to a different channel during the term of agreement.
That's what he just
He
said.
just talked
I
about that.
just wanted to say that. And then we get 3 nonprofits, 5,000 each, so that makes the 15,000 within 90 days of the approval of franchises. Okay, so it won't happen 10 years from now, it'll happen very quickly. Okay, so we need to make sure that those organizations, the list of organizations, and I assume you guys have one too, so it's 15,000 to the village and 15,000 to the town, is that how it works?
No,
No, it's to every.
no.
15,000 total, okay.
And it's not, sorry guys, it's not an immediate turnaround, so upon signature, it's not like that clock starts then. I believe it's when the Public Service Commission accepts it. So what will happen?
It does say that, yeah, 90
Okay,
days of
so
the
I'm just
public
saying
service.
that it takes them a few months, honestly.
Yeah, but not 10 years. Okay.
It will, I hope not. no.
Okay, okay. All right, very good.
That's all I got.
Okay, any other questions or discussion about this? You ready to,
I call the question.
well, with that one exception of adding the youth center?
Thank you for finding that little omission. You do the detail work. Thanks,
Well,
Amanda.
unfortunately, no.
That's great.
So how should we proceed with that? So we can approve it. We can approve it with our amendment to add that one building.
Yeah, you can,
Yes.
you can.
But that's a side agreement.
No, it's not. It's exhibit A to the.
And I can just send over a new document.
Okay,
Great.
It's one more unit.
yeah.
Yeah, I
it's
don't think, I can't
Yeah, a basic cable.
on my end, and then, when the signed agreement back, and then I can work with the clerk to get the signed resolution. And then we take it from there and submit it to the
We need to do a resolution?
No, I just moved.
I'm hearing they
He
want
needs
a
a
resolution.
Rosanna, are you saying that you need this to be in the form of a resolution with roll call and stuff?
We don't have a resolution.
I wasn't aware of that, no.
Did you guys, Sana, did you do a resolution last night? No?
Yeah.
Yes.
We did.
So maybe we can find yours.
I think, yeah, you know how they typically go. Here's the whereases right here. We can just read these whereases.
Okay.
Okay, all right. So Rosanna, do you need to take roll call?
I can. Supervisor
Thank
Amanda Gatto,
Here,
Councilmember Essie Lewis,
Present.
Deputy Supervisor Kitty Brown,
Here.
Councilmember Randall Leverett,
Here.
and Councilmember Edgar Rodriguez.
Present via Zoom.
thank you. Okay. So whereas in a full public proceeding affording due process to all parties, grantor, who is the franchisor, Spectrum, are you the grantee? You're the grantee. I got it wrong. We're the grantors. Okay, so the town of New Paltz considered and found adequate and feasible grantees Charter Communications plans for constructing and operating the cable television system. And we considered and determined that the financial condition, character, legal, and technical ability of Spectrum are sufficient to provide services, facilities, and equipment necessary to meet the future cable-related needs of the community. And whereas the grantor, the town, finds that the grantee, Spectrum, has substantially complied with material terms of the current franchise under applicable laws, that this franchise complies with New York Public Service Commission's franchise standards under Title 16, Chapter 8, Part 895 of the official compilation of codes, rules, and regulations of the state of New York, and the grant of a non-exclusive franchise to Spectrum is consistent with the public interest. And whereas the grantor and grantee have complied with all federal and state mandated procedural and substantive requirements pertinent to this franchise renewal, and whereas the grantor desires to enter into this franchise with the grantee for the construction and operation of a cable system on the terms set forth herein, we therefore agree to all of this that's in this agreement.
Second.
Roseanne, would you like to take a vote?
Supervisor Amanda Gatto,
Aye.
Councilmember Essie Lewis,
Aye.
Deputy Supervisor Kitty Brown,
Aye.
Councilmember Randall Leverett,
Aye.
and Councilmember Edgar Rodriguez.
Aye.
Thank you, Rosanna. All right, great.
Done. Congratulations. Wow.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Years and years.
So I will, send over an updated version. I would just need the address.
With the appendix,
Yeah, for exhibit A.
I'll get that to you tomorrow.
Okay.
All right?
Yeah.
52 Clearwater Road. And we will.
Yeah,
if you
PO box.
Send PO Box 550, and if you send two, if you sign two and send two, then we can keep one and send one back.
And then you would also need to send one to the village, I would presume, because the appendix would change for them, but it's all the
Right.
same. Yeah. And then you should apply to be on the Public Access Committee. Okay?
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm joining this process right at the end, but I just wanted to, thank you, for, making this work, and I wanted to, thank you Supervisor for, actually looking at the document and noticing something. So, as the newest client of the public access, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Benjamin, before you go, what are the details of the American Legion fundraiser? When?
Yes, thank you, Kitty, for asking. So every third Sunday at the Lemon Squeeze.
Third Sunday.
Yeah, we host dinner. It's at 5 p.m. Everyone is welcome. It's $15 in advance, $20 at the door. It includes dinner and a show. There's new artists every month.
Great.
And we have different menu every month, different local restaurant sponsor provides the food.
Cool.
And it's a great show, and I hope you all can come.
Thanks.
What time?
5 p.m., 5 to 9.
Bob, how did we miss the
4 hours
youth
of
center?
entertainment. And dinner and
I
target.
didn't know that it was owned by the town.
I didn't.
Third Sunday.
Yeah.
Third Sunday. Sunday, Sunday, Sunday.
It's
Sunday,
Good night.
Good night.
Good
Thank
everybody.
you.
Thank you.
Okay, so now I'm back on track here with announcements, and then after that, we will have public input right after the announcements. Okay, right after the announcements, we'll have the public input for the rest of the meeting. Okay. New Paltz Youth Program, the 31st Annual Haunted House will be open on Thursday, October 30th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. and on Halloween night from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. And it says, come on out if you dare. Upcoming Office for Community Wellness events, Halloween karaoke, October 24th at 7 p.m. at LT Memorial Library in the Steinberg Reading Room. Okay, it's gonna get noisy at the library. Okay. Halloween trivia, Sunday, October 26th at LT Memorial Library at 2 p.m. Wellness Connections are pop-ups on Wednesdays from 7 to 8, October 22nd to November 19th at New Connections on Grove Street. We currently have the following board committee openings for volunteers. The Planning Board needs 2 alternates. The Ethics Board needs 1 primary member. And Historic Preservation Commission needs 1 primary member. If you're interested, please send your letter of interest and a resume to the assistant at townofnewpaltz.org. Okay. Yes, we are having a public hearing on the 2026 budget at our meeting on November 6th at 7 p.m. The town of New Paltz is collecting donations for Ulster County Toys for Tots program. New and unwrapped toys can be dropped off at the town clerk's office until December 8th. And big deal here, leaf pickup. Starting the week of October 27th, that's next week, will be done along the plow routes, and the truck will go through the routes multiple times until all piles are picked up. All roads in the town will be serviced. The piles must be placed as close to the pavement as possible, only leaves, no sticks or other foreign material. If you have any questions, please call the highway garage. Any other announcements? Any other announcements? Okay. All right, public input, public comment for the meeting. So please come back up, sir.
That's what I was saying.
Okay.
Did you have an
I
announcement?
brought this up with the Department of Public Works. And they informed me that you have to pass a law or resolution or something like that. So, to cut to the chase, the problem one problem that I'm seeing is that people on Huguenot Street, a lot of them don't seem to know which side of the road to walk on, which causes problems for those of us who do, and for drivers going back and forth on each side.
I agree.
So one way to deal with that easily is to put up signs on the already existing street sign posts that say pedestrians walk on the left. And these, I know exactly where these signs can be made. And I'd be happy to drive anyone down there to pick them up if necessary.
Yeah.
So you're talking about the bike ped, the shared bike ped path?
No,
No,
Huguenot.
Huguenot.
Huguenot Street.
Hey, on Huguenot. Okay.
Is that village?
Yeah, we have a village trustee here, so she's hearing that. Most of that is in the village. The problem is, what it needs to say is pedestrians walk facing traffic.
Which means pedestrians walk on the left in this
Well,
country.
it depends
it's a
which way you're
one-way
going. That's why they
No, it
have
doesn't. Your
court
left is
and-
always
Always
different.
gonna be your left.
He's correct.
He's right.
Yeah.
I forgot it goes to the village, yeah.
You're on the right side.
You walk on the left, you'll always be facing the traffic.
Correct.
That's.
Okay,
And anyway, I've seen these signs in other places, for
Okay.
instance, at the Piermont, landing. I used to live down that way, and the place where you can get these signs is, in Pearl River, which is also in Rockland County, just down the road a piece. The name and phone number are here.
Okay. You want it?
You can send it to us at the village, or you can hand it to me now and tell me.
And go to the village.
Yeah.
I suggest you come to our next meeting. You wanna know what it is?
Next Wednesday?
Well,
oh, they met last night.
I can't make decisions without the rest of the board, so.
2 weeks.
Well, it's better than being in Ireland when they had to keep reminding me to look the wrong way.
Yeah.
You look to the left and the horn starts screaming from the right.
We have our next meeting.
Brendan, did you need something
November.
else?
Is it the fifth?
Or you just love watching government meetings?
I'm from Rockland County, so that got my attention.
Oh,
Heard Piermont, I was like, not my Piermont, the Pearl.
Meeting, yep, I'm just gonna. hold on to
Okay, Kitty, I lost
It's
that.
the 5th at 7 p.m., November 5th.
All right, should we move on?
big print.
And where is it?
Is it written, was it handwritten?
No,
it's
typed.
Is it under? Well, you know, when I start moving pieces, wait.
Right now, it's,
There it is.
I'm not sure what I will the village is.
Should we be going through the comments?
But
Okay,
Huguenot Street is the.
So if y'all use this, we're just gonna keep going with the meeting. Oh, okay,
You
so
have, okay.
there is one more public comment.
Village.
One more person who wanted.
Mulberry Square is
Village.
in the village.
It's,
It's in the village, yep, it's Henry Village.
And Huguenot is village.
It's election District 1.
And, first time I came.
So that we can get other people who wanna have
Yeah.
public comment, can you all,
You have to stay that piece of paper.
Absolutely.
It's her, Stana.
She is the.
Okay, the, another name we have on the list is Stana.
Hi, I'm Stella Weisberg. I'm the trustee of the village. Last night, we passed a resolution in support of our neighbor, Ali Sahad Fakirzada. I wrote to you all, I sent you a copy of it, and I asked you to please put it on the agenda for tonight and pass your own similar resolution. You did not update your agenda. I'm asking you to please do so and to do this tonight to help our neighbor to be free from his imprisonment, which is completely unjust.
Thank you for
Thank you,
sending it
Stella.
as a PDF.
Yes.
I was having trouble.
Yeah, I put it in the body of an email.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, we are aware of it. Thank
I
you.
am going to make, I am going, after public input, I will make, I will call for a
There.
motion to discuss that resolution, which I believe all of us should have.
Right,
Yes.
yep, absolutely. Okay, there was, I'm sorry, I just missed another announcement. One of the requests made at our October 9th meeting where the community was here, discussing the concern about the vandalism of our members' home, is that a reward should be set up to help apprehend the person who did this crime. I did speak with Sheriff Juan Figueroa, and he recommended the best way to do that is a group of concerned citizens organized to set up a reward fund. And we heard that at another meeting we were at also. Now, the sheriff has a confidential tip line, 845-340-3599. But there are also instructions and in guidance on how to set up a reward fund. They are posted, I believe it's been posted on our town website. If not, it will be immediately tomorrow. And you can also email assistant@townofnewpaltz.org for those instructions and the tip line number. But it is an important step to take. Another way of trying to get this cowardly person in hand. All right.
I do have it's not this is announcements, right? It's not I know that in all our previous meetings, and I don't want to put you on the spot, Chris. But we talked about sending out the things for RFP for sound system, since we're in the meeting. I have
a meeting with the company Tuesday in this building to go through an entire system, audio and video.
So it's in the works.
7 companies, all would say, we do this work.
But
all 6 will sell me the equipment if I figure out how to put it in. 1 actually does the installation.
Wow.
I have a meeting here with them on Tuesday, to look over the building and make give me a quote.
Great.
I also reached out to the OWL company. And they finally responded with an email and a person saying, here I am, I'll talk to you, so we have, to make sure whatever we're doing is compatible with this thing. If they have.
Would they tell you, we need a bigger owl?
That's not a problem. Our problem is how to get the sound out there. And so, yeah, we need to find out if they have anything that ties into it. I don't know, but.
My request to the company was to integrate something like the OWL with permanent multiple screens in the room.
Screens?
Everything wireless. So it can be recorded or not recorded, depending if it's recorded. At least 10 microphones, because there's other things that and they have to make a recommendation. But I went for the full vote, and then we'll see what that costs, and then we can dial it down.
Put holes in it.
Okay, that's great.
Thanks,
Okay.
Chris.
Okay, very good. Anything else that we want to do before we plunge into, we have some folks who've been waiting so patiently and they want to tell us some really cool stuff.
Thanks for waiting.
Yeah, so would you like to please come up and join us from our Community Preservation Fund? And Rosanna's gonna be able to show your slides, so you can, but there's a couple of chairs, sorry.
Yeah.
You
want the hard
want to come on up?
There's
and
another chair.
be-
The hard ones are fine.
Ingrid. Come on up.
Paloma, do you?
Not why you join.
There's chairs right here, there's plenty of chairs on them.
Thank you.
Hey, John. Eric Roth, holy cow, it's been a while.
Haven't I seen you before?
You have on a similar topic.
If you guys want to speak, you can join us.
I think Matt and I are gonna do the
Okay.
presentations and vote on.
This is the support. Okay.
Well, I guess
Is that big enough? Can we get it bigger, Rosanna?
just go to full screen, I think. In the meantime, I'll make some introductions. You all know me, I'm Kara Lee, and I chair the Community Preservation Advisory Board. And tonight we have different conservation partners with us. So we have Matt Decker from Open Space Institute, Paloma Krakauer from Mohawk Preserve, and two members of our board, Ingrid Hakel and John Orfatelli. So we brought out all the big guns. So we're here tonight to talk about what we call the Humpo Marshlands Project. And this should sound familiar to you all because last year in November, we came to you to ask for a letter of support to go to the federal government to help support this project. That funding is frozen, I think is the term we're using. So we're back with a proposal for how we can make this project work.
Just trying to find this to start, keep share maybe.
So for folks watching,
Yes.
listening, explain where Humpo, this project
The
is.
slides will show that in
Okay.
some detail.
Okay.
If we can,
Okay, so.
is it possible to move through the slides?
She's going to, I think she's trying to make them big.
Oh, okay.
Okay, how about?
All right, so, just as a reminder, I think it's always worth, pointing out that the Community Preservation Fund is a dedicated fund. It's intended to protect New Paltz farms, forests, and wetlands, and different environmental resources. And that this fund, when we make a purchase or invest with this fund, it doesn't have an impact on taxpayers or people's tax bills. This is a revenue stream that comes from the real estate transfer tax. So this project, our role, the town's role, will be to purchase a conservation easement on an 84-acre property that we refer to as Humpo Marshlands, which we'll show in more detail. Next, please. So here are some details about this project. It spans the New Paltz Gardner line boundary. It's 175 acres altogether. 84 of those acres are in New Paltz, and the rest of the presentation is just about the part in New Paltz. The property overall contains a big portion of the Humpo Marsh. And it's a known hotspot for birds and wildlife. It's an important habitat. It also provides, it acts like a big sponge. It absorbs flood water. And it also serves to recharge the aquifer for groundwater. So it's an important water resource for the community.
Is that bordered 299 Butterville?
Why do you ask, Randall?
Well, it's beyond Butterville. You know,
Just past, as you
just
start
past.
going down.
Yep,
Yeah.
yeah, and you see the marsh.
Glenn Hoagland always used to talk of, because when he was, okay.
So you see the marsh on either side, right? And as you know, 299 is a state designated scenic byway. So it's on that scenic byway and it's an important and iconic part of the scenery in New Paltz between the village and the Guns. While a big portion of the property is a wetland, it has forested upland as well, which would be is vulnerable to development. We have talked to you before about our community preservation plan, which is a tool we use to assess the conservation values of properties with a scoring system, and this property scores very highly for all the reasons.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, okay. So let's look at some of the visual images of this place. So most of us, I think, when we drive out towards the Gunts, we look to the right and see the Humpo Marsh stretching along the base of the ridge. The bulk of the property we're talking about tonight is on the left-hand side of the road looking south.
That's because of the border, the town line, the borders?
No,
Oh,
that's cut, 299 cuts through the marsh, right? So these beautiful photographs were taken with a drone by Bob Fagan, who was here earlier.
Oh, okay.
And he's been really generous with his volunteer time, helping us show you what some of these resources look like. We could go on to the next slide. This is an infrared photo, and I thought it was interesting to show because it shows the marsh in a slightly different way. And it's the gray smudge kind of right in the middle of the image, and you can see how
This
extensive
part
it
right
is.
here, this,
Yes,
okay, great.
yes. And you
Wow.
can see the Hump Oak Hill entering and leaving that large marsh area. Yeah.
That right there.
Mhm,
The water, okay.
mhm.
Up in the drawing.
Next. So Matt, I'm gonna have you walk through this image, this map.
Sure, this just shows the whole property in the context of the conserved landscape here, and everything that's dark green to the north of the yellow wireframe there, that's all Mohonk Preserve. So as you're driving from Butterville, you're driving and the marsh is on the right, that section is already Mohonk Preserve, but the marsh on the left is private property. Then you continue towards Yankee Folly Road, and the property that we would be conserving here is all of the road frontage between the marsh, where you cross the marsh,
Can
and
you
Yankee
go
Folly Road.
point on the?
Sure.
Okay, so that's 299, right?
Right.
Yes.
Is it
Yeah.
on Post in Butterville?
That's my
Yeah.
house right
Okay.
there.
Okay.
Yeah. I hear a lot of people pointing out their house. So
Yeah, right there.
You.
yeah, there's Butterville. This is the marsh. This is the town line right here, but the yellow shows the section that's in Gardner. Also, as Kara pointed out, that's not what we're talking to you about, but it's kind of part of the whole story here. This is Yankee Folly Road. There's one house on the near corner of Yankee Folly Road, which is not part of the property, but all of the wetlands, and then all of those fields and all of the forest lands on the left side, and then some also on the right side are all
So
part
the
of.
carved out yellow,
Yeah.
is that what we're talking about?
This, and is that actually by habitat or, because I know this lot right here, I mean.
It's not by habitat, it's by property lot
Property
lines.
lines?
Yeah, yeah.
And so, yeah, this is what we're working on here, but the part, again, that we're asking the town to contribute to, obviously, is only a conservation easement on the section, the 84-acre section that's in the town of New Paltz.
Okay.
What else could I say about this?
Well, you indicated where the town boundary is, which is important to understand, and that this is contiguous with already protected land,
Yeah.
which is something we look for because you get greater conservation value, really, if you can build out on protected land. So this is that kind of opportunity.
And so the property is called Hump Oak Marshlands because that is the ecological jewel of this property. But as Kara pointed out, and I'll reiterate, it also contains a lot of very developable, in my opinion, uplands. And I don't know if you all know, but you live in a very desirable community.
No.
You know, the total purchase price for the entire yellow area is 2.89 million for 175 acres. So again, the section that we're talking about with you tonight is only the 84 acres in New Paltz. So if we go to the next slide, then.
So wait, I mean, before you do, okay, I'm sorry, if you can you go back, Rosanna, one time? Okay, so this is the town border now?
Yes, this right here, this
Right,
line,
down
this
there.
dash, this black and
Oh,
white.
here, okay, that's, because
It's
okay.
hard to see.
Okay, so this is the 80-something acres, and this is something, okay, okay, great, thank you.
So with this opportunity that came up, we got together with all of the conservation partners that we have in this community and talked about, you know, what the ultimate outcome could or should be in all of these projects. One of the ingredients you need is some entity that's going to take care of the property forever. So, you know, we talked with the town about the possibility and, you know, discovered that that would not be a role town would like to play. But Kara and her committee still talked about wanting to have the town, you know, contribute to and participate in this project. So we also involved Mohonk Preserve, Wallkill Valley Land Trust, and none of these So none of the entities here are committed to what I'm gonna tell you right now, but they're all kind of here to represent that this is the plan that, you know, we got together and thought that the ultimate conservation outcome would be ownership by Mohawk Preserve because they're experts in owning and managing land, but with limited and well-managed public access without a fee, which is different for Mohawk Preserve. And again, their board is still, you know, considering this, but this would be a big step, you know, in towards, you know, bringing that idea to Mohawk. And then they would own the property. So the town's role and the town and Wallkill Valley Land Trust would then hold a conservation easement on the portion of the property, the 84 acres roughly that are in New Paltz. And Kara will get to the actual specific request, but the town and Wallkill Valley Land Trust will take the role of holding the conservation easement, and the town would be a third party right of enforcement, which that's sort of like yeah, details here, but the town would have the right to enforce the conservation easement without the burden of having to monitor the easement each year. Wallkill Valley Land Trust would take that role.
I think we also have to acknowledge that if it weren't for the Open Space Institute, who has negotiated an option with the owner, we wouldn't be in a position to be able to do this.
So who owns this now? Is
Right now, it's owned by a private family who, it's been in their family for over 200 years. OSI, you know, our role here is we stepped in while the property was, while there was the opportunity to kind of think about conservation, and we got an agreement with the owners to purchase the property. Then we got the conservation groups together and thought about how to do this. So, you know, what Kara is gonna describe is that OSI would purchase the property and then the town would purchase a conservation easement. But really what we're doing here is kind of pooling all of our collective resources and pulling from the buckets that we have available to us in order to make it to that, you know, in order to enable us to purchase the property.
so OSI buys it,
Yes,
Mohawk Preserve
Not in the town.
would own it
yes, in the future.
in the
Yes.
future, and then in theory, the preserve would make that open to the public. But
Correct.
they have to decide to do that.
Right, and we're in that conversation now.
So what happens if they decide not to do that? Because I mean, I
Well, it touches them. So if someone's on this part where they didn't have to pay to get on, and I'm sorry, but I got neighbors who do this, and they just get onto the preserve without going through any, you know.
I think if you look at the map, though, you recognize that this property.
it's
because
not easy
on
to
the
get
other
on,
of
yeah,
299.
it's.
So it's really not contiguous
Right.
with the rest of the property.
Preserve.
If there's a way you can just park your car there and go, I'm sorry.
You
I'm just telling
could,
what
except
people
that
do.
the landscape doesn't really afford that opportunity.
There's no parking, there's really
There's-
no
there's-
parking.
Just do.
No, I understand that. I mean, the question that I have is, you know, if we're going to participate in this and they're gonna end up owning this, with the town's participation, it is imperative that it be easily accessible to residents of the town of New Paltz at no charge, and not have the rangers riding around. You're from Mohawk, you know, riding around throwing people off because, you know, it's
The main thing
it's
is where
like,
would you park?
So I think what we're envisioning and talking about is creating some access on the south side of the road that would perhaps be a trailhead with space for a few cars to park, not a huge parking lot, but a few cars to park, and access to a trail that would lead maybe to a bird observation platform or something like that. It would be fairly limited because of the nature of the land. But it would provide public access for people who wanted to go and look at marsh birds.
So at that spot, I mean, the speed limit is 55. It's kind of like curvy and hard. I think any parking there is like dangerous. I mean,
Can you go back, Rosanna, to the map, and can you show us where the Gatehouse Trailhead is? Is it anywhere near there?
no,
Nowhere
it's
near
at the,
there.
it's behind that's
Is-
inlet in
Brook
substance,
Farm, is
yeah.
anything
No.
near there where people can?
See the Y there just above the top? Is,
Yeah, it's back
that's
there.
right, it's right in there.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
the thing is, so they would have to put, they're talking about on the south side, put some, make some cleared area where some cars could park.
So I would almost, I mean, you guys are the design experts, but I think it's more dangerous to have parking for 5 cars than
Yeah, because they
9,
park on the road.
you know?
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, we, as Matt said, we do still have to bring it to our land protection committee, who would then make a recommendation to our board whether or not a final acquisition would be recommended, but we have certainly been in this process with all the partners for about a year. So we know that free public access is a stipulation of using the community preservation funds. So that is something that we are certainly working around what that could be as part of that. The biggest hurdle, I think, as you're already noting, is kind of the parking situations, especially since it's a state roadway that the county manages. There's gonna be many layers of DOT approvals, I think.
Past here, there's really not a shoulder,
Right.
it's gone.
But,
All the blinds.
our biggest concern is about safety. So if we were gonna do that, it would have to be a more substantial formalized parking area. And we do also have to go through the town's wetland process to also make sure that any sort of infrastructure, whatever limit it
Is there a mitigation kind of trade that we could do that says no public access here in exchange for public Ingrid say.
State laws
We
are pretty
can't trade
strict
it
with
like
that.
wetlands,
I mean,
build a wetland here.
No.
No, not gonna, no.
As somebody who kind of sort of lives over there,
Yeah.
the traffic is, I mean, it's already unacceptable, but we put up with it.
Mm-hmm.
But it is, I mean, creating more of it is not a fun thing. I mean, the traffic that's going in and out of Pine Road, the traffic that's going, I mean.
There's
I mean-
just the leaf peepers, they stop and take.
Well, it's the leaf peepers, but the other dangerous thing is people coming down 299 going east and making a left-hand turn onto Gatehouse Road or making a left-hand turn into the Mohonk, that testimonial gateway parking area. It's just, it's an accident waiting to happen. And I think adding more sightseeing things on that road is just a bad idea.
Well, I think what we've talked about is that we want to protect this
Yeah, that's the
property
main.
and have these very good problems to have down the road. And it's difficult to bootstrap our way into even having the opportunity to talk about how to manage this, what will become a public, or semi-public resource.
I don't have an issue protecting.
Yeah.
What I have an issue is creating more disturbance for selfishly me and my neighbors and the people who live in that playground there.
Maybe one thing, Randall, it could be is it isn't a car parking thing. Maybe it's only a bus or a shuttle that comes from somewhere else in the.
Like testimonial gateway.
Or where there already people are going, and that if they want to come here for a bird, like there's certain times when someone's a ranger, somebody's there, you know, so it's not just free for all. And
Yeah.
because we've seen what happens on Pine Road, everybody's parking all over
Yeah.
down that road.
And my driveway is right at the end of Pine Road, so I am keenly aware
Well,
of the annoyance of traffic.
Mohonk Preserve are the experts in this room for how to safely manage public access. And that's why we want to do this project, get this property into their hands with the understanding that public access is something that is a requirement of the town. And what the shape of that public access takes, I think Mohonk, you know, we've talked about doing a letter where Mohonk, you know, there's a timetable where Mohonk is going to make a good faith effort to develop public access improvements to get safe access. But we don't know, without going through these long and, you know, hard processes of approvals, what form that is going to take. So we would have this letter, you know, by the time of the purchase of the property, which everything that we're talking about is contingent on the purchase of the property. So we would, you know, get into a contract with the town and with Wallkill Valley for the purchase of the conservation easement. We would get into a contract with Mohonk Preserve for the conveyance of the property. Mohonk does have a grant that will bring some money into the purchase, so it'll be, you know, there will be, you know, some money coming from Mohonk for the purchase of the property. But everything we're talking about is contingent on these things all being lined up. We're with Mohonk's board reviewing and being comfortable with this, with having a letter that describes their good faith intent to develop public access and manage public access on the property. And this is the first real step that we're going to take towards.
So this has been I know some of the background. This has been a very difficult and complex and, you know, way to put this together. And if we meet the letter of the law by having this, you know, pledge so that we can go ahead and make sure that this, you know, can happen. And then it does have to come back. Anything that does happen there will have to come back to the town planning board because it is within the town and they'll do secret and all this kind of stuff and see what, you know, how that fits. And obviously it would be something that everyone who's involved would have a, you know, something to say about it. But the fact that OSI has gotten this far, and then now the rest of us, and they're, you know, Gardner's gonna be part of it too, when they finally get enough money in their fund. But in the meantime, we've got it and we can help, you know, nail this thing down. And it's an amazing opportunity to get a really important piece of property. And then hopefully it could lead to getting a few others around it, you know, so you had it, that whole area, but anyway, that's.
Well, thank you. It is an extraordinary opportunity. While we are required to provide public access, you know, it has to be feasible. It has to be safe. And we have to weigh the benefits of protecting the resource and providing public access. And there are a lot of different ways to do it. And it may be that coming off 299 isn't the best way to do it. There may be alternatives that we haven't really explored yet. But I think you're getting the sense that we're trying to build momentum to make this happen. And some of those details are still part of the process.
I honestly, I don't object to the preservation of that piece of property. I do object to creating additional traffic and noise throughout my neighborhood.
I am, my only reservation is, I don't think we saw the unintended consequences when we put public access in the community, the real estate transfer thing, because of exactly a problem like this, where it's just dangerous to try to get the public onto this property. However, we have a lot of design experts here. You know, you guys will figure that out. I would like to get, so what is we are paying a portion of the purchase price. What is the full purchase price?
The full purchase price for the entire property is 2.89 million.
And that's what you have to come up with.
Yes.
And we're contributing a portion of that.
Which will come in the form of the purchase of a conservation easement.
Right.
So we'll cover the purchase price, but then recoup some of the funds. The value of the conservation easement on the New Paltz side is 1.36 million. And Kara hasn't gotten to it yet. Oh, but here it is.
Yeah.
Right.
So, when we came to you last year, I think the figure was in the $600,000 range. It's gone up a little bit because we lost that federal funding.
Mhm.
OSI was able to find a private foundation to contribute to this project. So this figure represents 61% of the appraised value. So for us, it's a lot of money, but it's a pretty fair price for what we're
And
getting.
OSI's already done the survey and the appraisal and the.
Yes.
So that we're not having to, as we've done it, so
Yeah.
every one of these is different, the way they're set up and what happens. And, yeah. this is-
I don't see how we can possibly expect the land trust to do, the monitoring for $10,000. I mean, just the baseline study is gonna be,
So
do you have an answer for that?
I mean, not Walk Hill Valley Land Trust, but that is their standard stewardship fee for any property.
So the way they look at it, and it does seem like it's not enough,
I mean,
but
just the boundaries, make sure.
well, the survey and so on, that's been done.
Yeah, but they're gonna have to walk that boundary every year.
Yes, and, yes,
Okay.
that's correct.
You guys have thought
That's why
about all
that's why the
this.
town didn't
I just
do
don't think
that.
that $10,000 is enough, but if they do, then
Well,
they
so
do.
what they do is they invest that money and get a, 4% return or so,
Yeah.
so that it's a continuing ongoing fund.
I guess my question is, could we, I don't know, I
This
shouldn't
is-
be
this is
nickel and
right
dime.
now,
I
they're
just feel like,
Presenting it to us, they're not
Hmm?
they're just presenting it to us right now. We'd have to have a public hearing, we'd have to have.
yeah,
a
yeah, but
resolution.
before we get to there, I
So,
mean, I would like to take $10,000 off of what we pay OSI and add that to the endowment, because this, to me, is the biggest, other than the rail trail, this is the biggest stewardship monitoring thing that I can remember the land trust
Well,
having to take on.
We're doing the one on Springtown.
That's nothing compared
It's
to
hundred and
this.
fifty-seven.
Yeah, but there's a person who lives there who's gonna say people are chopping down trees and,
Kitty, Christy couldn't be here tonight, she's not feeling well.
okay,
And she would be the best person to answer your questions about their stewardship funds
Okay.
and what they expect, how they expect that to be spent and so on.
okay.
So, but this is what she's told us. This
Okay.
is what this was the budget she gave us.
If she thinks she can do it for that, then I trust her judgment. Okay.
So Joe Moriello would be, reviewing the conservation easement and the contract with OSI. So we have money, an estimated amount for his legal services. The price, the purchase price for the easement hasn't changed, since we lost that federal funding, and, the stewardship endowment is what it is. I think we should go back and ask about whether they would want additional funding for their baseline report.
Yeah.
That might be something to
Okay.
ask them about.
Eric, do you want to talk about that, the funding for the
Well, we
baseline?
do have a grant.
Oh, that's right.
That is funding part of this project. That only puts about $4,000 directly to the land trust.
For them to do the
That's just the
field work
baseline.
for the baseline.
Okay, so that's what covers the baseline.
Yeah.
Let me put you in touch with this environmental law firm that is looking for a project in the town of New Paltz, and maybe they could help draft this easement.
Well, the easement is being drafted by the land trust.
Review the thing that we're gonna pay our town attorney for.
Well, that would be up to the town.
why don't we just let you all do what you do? and not interfere with it.
Well,
I mean, with respect to
We'll have to. be-
their legal review and what.
They're saying, do you have a pro bono project for us?
Oh,
Right,
Well, we'd be willing to talk to anybody who's saying they would do pro bono
Yeah.
work, but I think it's in our best interest to have our town attorney be familiar with the conservation easement and the contract.
okay.
And
Because we have to enforce it.
that's right. And going forward, there will be more conservation easements. And so it will be good to get our town attorney familiar with the process.
I think I've got a pro bono thing for these people to work
Environmental protection.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Okay, next, please.
Okay.
So essentially, you're looking for $844,000 out of your kitty.
Correct,
I
correct.
mean, not you kitty, your kitty.
And we.
I just gave up
Our
$50.
board, our board's prepared to make a recommendation. But we also do have to go through a public hearing. And we feel like we do have additional work to do on some of the questions that have been raised. We still need to review, do the legal review and so on. So we are recommending that you set a public hearing for a month from now rather than at the next meeting, because we still have work to do.
I think it's November 20th.
I think that's right, yeah. But we're prepared with this recommendation and, would welcome any other questions you might have. And this would be, what would be the subject of the public hearing.
So, this entire so Rosanna, would this package be something you would post with the public hearing? No, then.
Rosanna?
We put her to sleep.
No, I'm here. Yes, we should include all of that with the public hearing notice.
Okay, very good. Can do that.
And I think the last slide is just a reminder to all of us that there has to be a public hearing as a next step by the town board.
So that gives us plenty of time to do it, and get it set up. It'll be the last meeting we have for the next week of Thanksgiving, so that's. And this is a really good one. You guys are coming up with some good ones here.
Well, it's taken a while, but we've got a number of them, so. Do any of the partners have anything else they want to add, or our members from the committee?
No. I could add that this would not be possible without each and every one of the people here, and also some people who are not here, Wallkill Valley included, and it's like a real team effort for what has been a Herculean project, but I think it's gonna be a really great outcome. Thank you for considering.
And it'll be exciting when Gardner's finally up to the part where they can be part of it too, because it's.
Well, the OSI is moving forward with the expectation that they will be purchasing both on both sides of the public boundary.
Right, but then at some point, they'll presumably get involved the way we are right now. And being maybe, I would hope.
I can't speak for them.
Oh, come on, it's such a great piece of property.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Anything else?
Thank you for being here.
All right.
Thank
And I
you.
think we have-
Thank you. Look at all these partnerships, networking, connection.
Hey, very good. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Eric, good to see you.
And I don't live in New Falls anymore, so I don't know a lot of things, but
You still play the guitar?
of course.
That's okay.
I live in.
Ah, We'll stamp your passport.
All right.
Night,
No.
night, Ingrid.
Night.
Thank you guys for coming. Okay, now we get down to consent agenda. All right, this has got a parts blah, A through I. And,
Do you have an I? I have H. Or maybe that's because I'm
There's,
looking at hold on. I'm looking at what Matt handed to me.
okay,
So
I is one that we would like to make a comment on. Matthew Miley's resignation from Historic Preservation Commission effective today. Of course, we are sorry to lose anyone from any of our boards and commissions, and so we thank him for his service, and there will now be, I guess, an opening to be had
Historic preservation. He was at the meeting Tuesday night.
Was he?
He's got a lot going on. He's a young guy.
So, the rest of these, unless anyone has any questions, this is his letter, yeah. He no longer has the bandwidth for the technical and bureaucratic process, he's too many projects, so.
So we
I
never got,
move we approve the consent
Yes.
agenda.
Second, any discussion? On favor?
aye.
That's an aye for Edgar also.
Thank you, Edgar. Okay, I move we approve the October 25th warrant in the amount of $1,569,086.09. Do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? On favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I move that we approve $16,500 for the Undoing Racism Workshop to be held December 8th. I think it was December 8th through 10th.
Yeah.
So moved.
Any discussion? On favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. I just do want us to think about making this part of our whatever human resources or we have, like the other trainings that we do, for sexual harassment, for computer, for da-da-da. This should be part of that, not necessarily onboarding, but we have to
Right.
do it annually or
Right.
people
I think
do
we-
it annually
We
so
talked
that it's.
about, having a whole basket of tools or box of tools, I don't know what tools come in, but other tools to
Yeah.
use and something like, some things are like maybe the first step or whatever. And other ways for people to continue to, reinforce some of this. So we'll continue to work with folks who have the access to those types of, appropriate training.
Yep.
All right. Okay, the next thing is the budget. And Rosanna, do you have the budget that's the cover sheet?
Is it something that you sent me already?
I sent it to you, like about, I don't know, 5 o'clock today.
Yes,
It's
I
the.
have it.
Okay, okay, thank you.
Hold on.
So this is actually now to the point of being the preliminary budget. Okay, we see part of it.
I'm trying to figure this part out.
Not sure what to tell her. Does anybody have any suggestions for how to make the screen?
Yeah, the bigger thing,
The bigger thing?
the double boxes on the top right.
Yeah.
Up above share was in where there's double boxes?
No, that's already as big as it goes.
Oh, it's her screen. What about at the bottom?
Something at the bottom.
Oh, that's right, because you're presenting, hold on, oh, wait.
You get $10 out
Can you close out participants?
for 10 hours.
Yeah.
I'll put that out of budget, but I think it's.
That's her, or is that you? That's her.
That's her. She's the
They'll
host.
pay volunteers.
Do you have
You're
participants on
absolutely
yours?
That's their work, their.
Maybe
Is
because
it-
it's coming.
Why isn't it
The
working?
town is work being
See if it
paid
works on
for
yours.
everybody else's.
Absolutely.
work
You
is
caught,
there.
you caught.
No, but he made it bigger.
I think it happened under Tony and
Oh, it did. That's when it was
we
with-
probably rolled
Yeah,
it.
And CBA,
not letting me do it.
What, you?
they're all.
Oh, that's hers.
paid, None.
But-
I don't want to touch that. I gotta make it
And
bigger.
intention.
That's a way to
Exactly.
fill up the whole screen.
There's.
Is that? No, I
Yeah.
don't want that.
Good catch.
Yeah.
If this is,
I mean,
yeah, this is
stuff-
feeding that.
I mean,
Right.
how often do they meet?
Keep thinking
They
that.
meet
And-
her.
2 nights
Who's that?
in May
I gave
for
I gave her.
4 hours each.
Yeah, and then on top of that, they're just like letting people walk out
Oh,
the
it's that
door.
thing on the
you know, okay,
side too.
here it is, okay, here it is.
And it's like
Oh.
showing two, oh, that was
They,
there.
they have to bring in comps. I mean, it's not easy to get a
Well, but
reduction in your assessment.
what I'm hearing is they're paying people to do it. They've got.
Oh, wait, I think I got it.
Yeah.
Does that help?
Yeah,
bigger,
that's
yeah.
better. That's better,
Okay.
okay.
Oh,
Yep, that's,
absolutely.
okay, that's
And
good.
they will
That's
do
like
that.
almost 80.
They get a reduction. I don't-
Okay.
I have a friend who
Okay,
did
folks,
that.
folks,
got
gonna get
half
back on
reduction.
topic here, folks. Thank you.
Sorry,
Just, cause Randall wants to go see a football game.
okay.
Okay. Alrighty, this is the worksheet that shows the preliminary budget. And it shows all of the projected expenditures, the projected estimated revenues, what we took from what I proposed to take from unexpended balance, and then what the tax will be. So at this point, that property tax is a 0 increase from last year. And what happened was, so then Rosanna has the other page. So
Sitting at home.
Rosanna, the page that I sent you, the other page, do you want to show us that?
This one?
quickly? Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm saying, yeah, I sent you two.
Is it the Word document?
I think it's a different
It's a Word document,
Okay. I can see it. You can't see it?
No,
No.
you shared it, you're still sharing the old one.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I have to go back and share the other one.
Yes, ma'am, I'm sorry, that's what it makes you do, it makes you share it one and then you can't.
Okay. Okay, this one?
Double question, full screen. Yeah, okay. All right, so, this was just a little bit of going through some of how the numbers came about. So, the expenditures also were held flat by some very, dedicated effort by everyone, and also, where we had to move a few things to manage whatever, because not every expenditure did an increase, some did, but we were able to then drop something somewhere else or move it around. The revenues are down a little bit. One of those is just because, again, we put in every year, we put 118,000 in for chips. This past year, we got 100 more than that, but we don't know until we get it. So if we put it in and we don't get it, then, we've overshot that one. This shows what's happening. This is where some of the money goes. The annual salaries or salaried elected officials, and then some other expenditures where we see some increases. Michael?
Yeah, something about the budget, yeah. Just like some information that she prepared late this afternoon. And they just
Edgar, are you
posted.
talking good?
You're unmuted. Ed.
Oh.
Okay. All right, so this is just some things I've been trying to put together to maybe, explain this cover sheet. And then these are, as we see these all the time when we do the warrants, the expenditures and the revenues. And so these are just showing that instead of showing it month by month for this year, it shows us what happened in 24, the actual, it shows 25 as we modified it, and then it shows the tentative. So it goes through like that. So I don't know if anyone has taken, more of a look at it than this, or has any specific questions.
I do, but I'll talk to you about it tomorrow.
Well, here's the thing. We're setting the public hearing. We need to set it tonight for November 6th. This is the preliminary budget. I have to submit it to this county, the state or the county, Rosanna, which one, tomorrow, this preliminary.
I mean, it's nothing major. I mean.
The county.
Well, the county. It's not final. Final will be on the 6th when we have the public hearing. And if we hear anything, either you guys bring me anything in the meantime, or we hear it at the public hearing that we need to make any modifications, we will need to do it then so that we can submit it. The calendar is so crazy. We can't wait till our next meeting. Our next meeting is after the 6th is too late based on the deadline that's set up by the state. Okay, we'll take a look at it. If nobody has anything right now off the top of their heads, or.
Did you say that you had increased revenues?
We did in some places and other places we didn't. So for instance, I can tell you that in the A line,
Okay.
for instance, mortgage tax.
Okay.
In 25, it was 100,000. We actually have in, as of right now, 124,800. We have increased it to 150. You know,
Okay.
just different things like that. Not everything we did. In 24, we had donations to the youth center with a very healthy. But in 25, so it was 62,000. In 25, so far we've gotten 1,000. So we didn't go nutso trying to say, oh, we're gonna
Right.
get the same thing as 24.
Okay.
So there were places where, you know, in 24, we received host benefit, 141,647. In 25, we had put in 100,000. So far this year, we received 53,900.
Is that Upgra, post benefit? That is,
Maybe.
that's what it is.
It, you know, so some things I was, you know, we just did our best to try to be
Yeah.
not crazy, not undershooting it, not overshooting it, trying to be realistic, but maybe a little more bold than I was last year when it was the first time and I was, you know, not sure what was gonna happen. And we were just coming off of COVID and not sure what the patterns were gonna look like. So there was some of that. The main thing is that there's been some more contributions from the unassigned fund balances. And in some cases, so let's see, we went up in the A fund and went down in the B fund, went up in the DA fund and went up in the DB fund. So that's where
So
some of
the
that came.
B fund, Jean was saying, is
I'm sorry.
completely self-sustaining.
B fund?
Yeah.
B fund, there's no property tax, that's correct.
Right.
And yet it has some income streams and things like that. So that's why we could go down on the fund balance for B.
I don't know, I mean, everything looks pretty clear here.
Okay,
All right.
well, we'll see what we get at the public hearing.
Maybe
Oh,
that's nice.
oh,
Edgar,
Are
do
you
you,
trying-
do you want to
say-
be talking to us? Do you know that you're not muted?
I'm not muted. Can you
Okay.
hear me?
Yeah.
What you got?
Okay, it's, the repeater question that I made, at the last meeting about the budget. It's the issue of the fund balances. And that I was used to, on the school board, all the fund balances reported. And it seems to me that this document will be an appropriate place to, post the fund balance. Because even as a board member, I've said this a few times, I was not aware that we had this major fund balance of $5 to $6 million or something like that. And I think it should be public information, whatever the balance is, going into 2026, it should be included. The response, the last time I requested this was that this is what the state requires. Well, that's the minimum. There's no restrictions about including additional information that I know of, particularly since at least during the years that I was on the trustee on the school board, the information was provided to the public so they could see the total finances of the school district. In that case, I'm asking that we do something similar for the town board.
Okay, we can do that. It won't be in this document. This document is the form we have to turn into the county. And so they get the same document from every community, so they feed it into their, you know, system, because it's how they set up the tax bills. And that's why it has to be in by a certain time so they can start to do that. So in January, you get your tax bill and you know what you're paying. But the fund balance is something that it's in the annual report every year, but it's a point in time. It's a snapshot at that point in time. And it doesn't show it as a living, what's happening to it throughout the year. And I can certainly do that. We can do that.
Edgar, would a simplified balance sheet with income / expenditures
Yes.
satisfy that? Because I think what people see is you see this clump of money, but what is not apparent is that clump of money, and correct me if I'm wrong, Amanda, that clump of money is then apportioned to the different things as we use them and need them. So like if you, let's say you got paid $100,000 a year, your bank account would show $100,000, but your budget would show you've got $50,000 in electricity over the year, but you haven't spent it yet. It's sitting there waiting for the bill to come in each month because that's how you've accounted for it. So I think what you're seeing is this clump of money and nobody spent anything. And as we go through it, that balance, I think when I did it, it was like 2 million something left over, which is like appropriate for reserves, right?
So.
Well, that's the operating budget that you're describing. What I'm describing goes beyond that. It will be sort of the assets that the town has. And restricted and unrestricted balances, I believe, are part of the pictures, just like the debt service that we have.
Right,
It's
so
something
so a
that was
simplified
normal.
balance sheet, a simplified balance sheet?
I think it's a little
Of
bit
some
different.
kind, yes.
Yeah, okay.
What we can do, so yes, if you look at the annual report, if you look for the fund balances, and it shows the restricted ones and it shows the unassigned ones, and so that gives us an idea of where some different things are, but the unassigned one, we can show where, when we, because then we specifically do, and it's a cash flow tool, and Jean has to use it to move, when money comes in, she puts it in, and then it gets put into the, where it has to go out. And it's like when we do the budget mods, it goes in and out of there. But the really important thing is at the end of the year, and when we're doing the closeout, the financial closeout for the year, that is the way we pay the invoices that are coming in when our taxes have been spending down, and we haven't got the new taxes next year for next year, they're not for this year. And it takes us into the first quarter of the following year to completely close out all of the invoices and things that come in. So it's there for that purpose.
Well,
And so we
I
want to
hear
make
you
sure
loud
we
and
keep
clear.
enough.
I hear you loud and clear that it's a moving number throughout the
Yeah.
year. Maybe you can make reference to, the end of the previous year, so people at least have a sense of what it was at the end of the year.
Yeah, we can do that. In fact, for this board's purpose, I can report it quarterly so that we see.
I was gonna say that, a quarterly cash flow statement.
Everybody's seen, not everybody sees the vouchers every month except me, to see what's happening with that, but you're getting a feel of where the expenditures are and where the funds are coming from. But for this other part, I can definitely do that on a quarterly basis, to say there's been a change or there hasn't been a change, or this is, how it's building. Some of these things get paid quarterly, and so that hides until it happens, and some of the cash comes in different ways too. So, but I can, that's not, it won't be in the document we turn into the county, it'll be for our work, and it can be posted with the budget information on the, Randall
Yeah.
wants to go.
That all sounds good.
Okay.
Edgar, are you good at Excel?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm fine with Excel.
I just went through and there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There are 12 retirement lines in our budget. So we've never had an idea of how much do we actually pay in retirement.
I was trying to put that together tonight, but I didn't get
Yeah.
I know what it is, and you know what? We have also medical healthcare premiums all over the place.
I know.
And there are 36 retirees who get that too.
Exactly.
So we have a lot.
So we've never, I hear what you're asking about for fund balances, Edgar, but it'd also be cool if we just had one number for here's how much we pay in retirement, here's how much we pay in retired medical benefits.
Right, and I can do that.
Excellent.
I can
Okay.
do it, Jean probably got it but it's all
Okay.
there, it's just pulling it.
I know, it's just you have
It's a
to
lot.
sort for different things.
It's a lot, and it's like anybody who's, I'm reading all this stuff, but anybody who's received, it's open season for Medicare. You get the bill and they tell you, oh, you've been plodding along, paying a certain amount of money, and then all of a sudden you just get this thing. It's like, oh, it's going up 25% because they say we can raise it 25%. And then you've got to find the money for it. And
that's what
our
happens.
retirement and our healthcare. All of that stuff is the same thing. It's like, surprise.
Yeah, they raised the medical premiums by 12% this year. you know, it goes up all the time. Okay, but that's something,
Okay.
I like doing that stuff.
Okay.
Well, knock yourself out.
Okay.
Next.
Okay.
Good
Well,
stuff.
Okay.
real quick, okay.
Oh,
The
go
last
ahead.
meeting, so at the last meeting, I did ask if it was possible to see how much we're spending on litigation related to policing. It would serve as a indicator to me, about, you know, what things are going on. I don't know if you were able to do anything with that or.
So I
whether-
started.
We see all those bills.
Yeah, the one that we're spending the money on is the annexation. That's where we spend our
Yeah.
big legal fees, is on the annexation. We have not had a grievance go forward to the point where we had to, but I mean, I can pull those out, but it's. I just
Well,
have to
I
figure.
know
didn't
we've
see
hired attorneys for litigation related to employment issues. At least once or twice.
We
this
paid
year.
an investigator, I think.
That's different. This is litigation. We haven't, so we had,
Well, that's the nature of it, you know, whether it's investigation or litigation or payments to attorneys.
I think there's, you know, there's been one this year for sure. So I'll find out. We've seen the invoices. I just haven't seen it recently. Okay. Okay, Edgar, I'm making note, okay?
All right,
I remember
thank you.
about that. Yep.
And then, on item 7, I have a quick comment when you go there.
Okay,
Question.
so we gotta get to number 6 first. We gotta do number 6. This is an authorization to transfer Jennifer Matera, court clerk, from the Justice Court to the Finance Department as an account clerk at the rate of $24.64 an hour, plus the stipend that they get for managing the water and sewer.
So moved.
Second.
On favor?
Aye.
And by the way.
Wait, discussion. That's the one that I had a question. What
Oh,
was that,
that's
at the end of that sentence, a stipend for sewer, and water? What's that?
Okay, so you know that we have 4 water districts and 3 sewer districts, and they
Right.
all get bills. So the bills have to be produced and put into envelopes and mailed out. And so there is an administrative fee that's charged to each of those individual districts. And that money goes towards the people who are doing that work, which is the clerks in the finance group.
Okay, so I'm smiling here. I thought it was some kind of a discount on that
Oh,
employee's water bills. It's not that. I got it.
That chance.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
so that's close.
So that's a
And-
unanimous?
Oh, we
Yes.
need to vote on this?
Yes.
We did, didn't we?
All in favor?
Aye. I thought we
Thank you.
did.
Oh,
We
then
just
Edgar
did.
had a question.
Oh.
All righty. Now we've got some budget mods. So this is where the money moves in and out. You can see it's going from the A fund into these other funds. So I don't know if anyone has any questions about these, where the money needs to be.
Yeah, I mean, we paid a lot of money for dog control for these poor
It's not
doggies.
dog control, it's housing them.
I know, but we need to figure out a policy because we had these dogs for what, 2 months?
We don't, yeah, someone needs to find this dog a home, yeah.
Right,
Is that
but
the same dog?
No, there's 2.
2
There's one
dogs,
female, looks like
abandoned
one of
dogs.
them's gone, the male's gone, the female's still there. And it
What
was
is
for
it?
like, they're Shepherd mix and they're in Rochester. And they've had them for like, 6 weeks or something. It's
Longer than
sad.
that.
Their youngest
So
dog.
why aren't they at the ASPCA?
Or Ulster?
That's, I mean, the
Rescue
Ulster
or-
SPCA, yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, why do we, I'm glad that they're,
Well,
you
I
know,
have to tell you, this one is like extreme. I've never seen one like this. So maybe.
well,
it's
they're
never
just
been so long.
abandoned.
Yeah, for so
but-
long. Like whoever had, and are they advertising, trying to find him a home or whatever? I don't know. So, I mean, we can't just park them there and leave them there forever. Poor puppies.
No, well, wouldn't they be, I don't know, I'm just saying, we need to have some sort of plan
Yeah.
for when people abandon a dog
Yeah.
and never come back.
Or it's picked up.
And then at what point it goes to the
Someplace
county,
As
Right,
long as
to-
it's a no-kill shelter.
whatever, yeah. No, I'm a dog lover.
I know you
I'm
are.
not into
I think this.
euthanizing a dog
Yeah.
or a
No,
cat
no, no.
unless
I mean,
they
I
have
read
to
this
be,
in the
they're
voucher
ill.
when I signed it. This one popped out and it's like, what the heck? What's
Yeah.
going on here? So clearly it points out there's some kind of problem with this process. We need
right,
to
so
do-
Yeah.
it's just an alert. that we
Yeah.
need to
Well, we
figure out.
also need to figure out what they're doing, what kind of active outreach they're doing to try to place them, because if
Exactly.
they'd much rather
Yeah.
have it sit there because they know they're gonna get a check from us, they may do squat.
Yeah, I don't really know I don't know what that procedure is, so.
Well, we should ask
Yeah.
that.
So let's,
So follow up, okay,
Yeah.
excellent. Okay, so that was for the cost overruns, and then we actually have the revenue incomes coming in from different places. And those get moved from, like, the reason all of these went up, the meter rents, because the water rate went up. So we got more revenue than we had.
So
planned.
can we approve both of these?
Yep.
I
Yep.
move we approve
8, 7
request,
and 8
request 7 and 8 for budget
mods.
cost overruns and 8
Increase.
for increase for additional revenue.
second,
Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Department head reports, again, it's full of information. It gives you an idea of some of the stuff that our departments are doing, the services and the activities going on. Take a look. If you have any questions about any of that at any time, please feel free to ask. There's, it just shows there's lots of stuff happening. And, yep, this is where we send money to the county. Here's Chris doing roving pothole repairs. The end of year patch paving. Wasn't there one where you said we're done? We're out of, that was the pool. The pool's closed and they're done, so there's no more from them. The assessors one is an interesting one to look at. Very interesting. Okay. Anything further? Liaison reports. Anything here? We know we approved the affordable housing law because we did it. What's happening with that is it's gone to the attorneys to put it into the right formatting and stuff. So that's where it is right now. Ultimately, it has to get filed with the state.
I just have two,
Yes, sir.
because mine were after.
yeah.
As you all know, I was in Ireland and had an opportunity to meet with the folks at Yahoo, and I mentioned this to Bob. They cannot get their YouTube channel back. It is gone for good.
That's what it
Kaput.
sounded like.
I'm working with the contact to see, I was told there's possibility that we might be able to request any material or data that is there, but Rosanna has indicated that they have all of our stuff back to a certain period on disk that will need to
Yeah.
be uploaded. Bob says he also has his stuff. They are able to start a new channel.
Which we did.
No, New Paltz TV.
Oh, then.
They're
Okay.
able
We
to
did
start a
channels.
new channel, not with the same exact name, but
Right.
they can start a new channel. And if they do that, we will not touch it so that it won't go belly up again. And then the only other thing is ZBA. There was a signage related to Sunoco. That's finally approved. I think they have to do some extra steps, but I think they are through with the ZBA
Okay.
panel at this point. So that's
it?
So
all I got.
Okay.
Historic Preservation met Tuesday.
Mhm.
They feel that we need a sort of one-page primer on how volunteer groups access the town Zoom channel. So they can,
They
invite.
don't.
Well, they need to be able to have the public
They don't.
observe.
They can use their own private.
They use their own private one or set up
Well,
Google Meet.
They're not, they think that's a problem.
Well,
And we have,
we can
10 committees and everybody's supposed to use their own
They
personal?
don't. They don't.
They do it in person
They
and
do it in
people come in person.
Especially in winter and stuff, I think we need to look at that some more.
We can't keep.
And one of them works at the college and feels that he can get an IT person from the college to help us come up with a protocol.
We
that
have
will
a
be-
protocol. We
Yeah,
have a protocol,
that
and
you
we
have
need to
to-
follow it.
Well,
We did. We just asked that that person was.
I mean, what are we paying MCS? A lot of money for cybersecurity. I know they don't do our digital, but it just feels to me like we need to look a little bit harder to make video meetings accessible for all of these committees and commissions.
We never have. We never have. They've always been in person. The only ones that have to be recorded and out there are the ones that, like ours, the planning board and the ZBA, because they are making actions that are actionable. That have.
Public business.
Yeah,
They're-
but it's all
just that,
public
they've got-
business. I
they've
mean,
got-
if you're talking about designating a historic farm, I don't want to keep everybody here really late, but I think we do need to look harder at that. And there's another thing that I can't remember right now. Oh, they're working a lot on the 250th celebration.
That's actually, yeah, they're doing their part of it.
Yeah.
There's way more than that, but that's gonna be a cool thing, month-long thing and all that, and
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll be reaching out to your.
Yeah.
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 Good. Very good. All right, do we have anything else?
I move we adjourn.
Second, is it halftime?
No?
All in favor?
Aye.
Edgar?
Yeah, I said aye.
Thank you,
Okay.
sir. All right, we'll see you guys later.
Dinner time.
Okay.
That's what it is.
Good night,
Dinner.
everyone.
Oh, you're so European. Good night, Edgar.
Aye.
So